Hey, welcome back. It's Wednesday night. It's 8 p.m. Eastern. That means it's time for Reality Skewed Gamers and our weekly Wednesday stream for RSG. I am Ranger J1999 from Team Instinct, one of your RSG crew members, and welcome everybody to another RSG stream where we look at all the latest news and notes of Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, what's going on in the game, and telling you what it all means. Joining me on this epic journey, we've got two of the crew here tonight. As you can see, we've got a new layout. I'll get into that in a second. But we got a lot of new features and stuff that we're going to talk about. But first, let's introduce the two knuckleheads that'll be joining me on this epic journey. And of course, we've got to start with Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, the troll extraordinaire, who will not be trolling the stream tonight. That will fall on Sir Loki. But Mr. Finity's here, and he is here for your whistling pleasure. Mr. Finity is having some issues with some stuff at his house with the modem. I guess the Ewok played with it. I don't know what's going on. Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, the Ewoks are eating my internet cable while they're practicing to become meta in territory wars. So.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have to punish them. I mean, you got to get that under control.
No, as long as they're meta in territory wars, I will pet them and hug them and train them in order to eat face.
I think you're doing more than that, Finn, and I think that's the problem. You know, the first step in fixing something is admitting that you have a problem. I'd like to have an intervention with you eventually about your Ewok and Porg fascination. Something's got to be done, but this is not the time nor the place to do it. For now, you're just a fur lover, and that's all we can say. Also joining us is Sir Loki, the lightsaber builder extraordinaire. Sir Loki, what's going on, man?
What is that, man?
I don't know what that is.
That's my Porg.
He doesn't sound like that in the movie.
We always do the lightsaber noises, but now you need the Porg noises.
There you go. That's a Porg.
Do you want me to just mute you, Finn? Is that it?
I told you I have a Porg, and I'm hugging it.
I didn't doubt you. Nobody doubted that you had one of those stupid critters. I mean, there's no denying that you have a Porg. Probably multiple Porgs. I don't know. I haven't been able to confirm or deny the...
No, just one.
Just one.
Just one.
Jesus.
Just one.
Hey, Finn, real quick, man. Great job on the layout, man.
Yes, this is Finn. Finn now
super sharp, man. Looks clean.
Yeah, Finn puts this together, then he throws it all to me, and then I have to put it together. It's like, oh, here I go. I'm like, oh no, oh, sweet Jesus and baby Jesus. But we do have some. So let's break that down. Good segue there, Mr. Sir Loki Locomotive. You can see we got a new layout. This is all Finn's doing. So you can see we got the new layout here with the video of the week. You can see me live from Korriban. And it's Korriban. I'm not sinking into calling it Morban. It's Korriban, damn it. Then we have our image of the week, which you can see is territory battles, which we will be discussing in length tonight. That's one of the big topics of discussion. And then we got our big screen. The good thing about this screen is I can switch from what we had before. We also have some new features. And that is when anybody subscribes or no, Mortal Warpath Grandi did not quit. Jesus, relax. He's on a business trip. There will be no Grandi patrons. He might shock us, but he's out on business, and that's just the way it is. So that being said, this is the new screen and the new layout. If anybody new subscribes or donates or subscribes with the sponsor button or anything, we should get a little cool new feature that should pop up. So anytime we get somebody new, doing that, then we will get a message that should pop up. If not, then blame Finn and we will all beat him with wiffle ball bats. I mean, he said it would work. Now, Finn, you're confident that this is going to work if somebody gives us the subscribes or donates or anything, right? We tested it, but
I am 60% positive
that is awful
of the time it'll work.
That is ridiculous, sir. That's not what you said the other day, Finn. Your story's changing, my friend.
I am 60% sure it'll work 100% of the time. That's where I'm at right now.
Okay, we're in trouble. Oh, Lord in heaven. All right, so let's get into the mechanisms of everything. If you like what you see, of course, subscribe. And hopefully our little thing pops up. I'm hoping it does because it's supposed to. I'm hoping Super Chat something works and we can see it. It'll pop up. But if you like the channel, you'd like to support us, you can do it two ways. You can either sponsor us. To sponsor us, you just hit the sponsor button up top. You sponsor the channel, kind of like Twitch. You know, you donate, like you commit to the channel for $4.90. Ah, see, the Coleman just subscribed. There we go. We got it. Coleman just subscribed, so we got the new Darth Vader thing. There we go. Okay, so it's working, Finn. So far, it's working. Ali Bub and the 40 Rebels just wait a minute. Ali Bub and the 40 Rebels was not a subscriber. You son of a bitch. But okay, Bimatsu donated $2. Okay, it's working. Hey, it is working. We got all kinds of cool stuff, but the sound's not working on that, Finn.
Do you have anything muted for your browser?
Let me
like
look.
for you know.
Let me look at that one specifically. Browser source. Let me see. It's supposed to. It did that.
It might not be in OBS. Do you have it muted maybe in your mixer or something?
That's what I'm looking at. Properties. Let's see. I'm not sure what's going on. Well, you know what? I can't hear it when we're streaming, so it might be coming through the stream. Can you verify that for me, Finnadoodle?
I cannot because I
all right,
cannot
Loki,
watch
can
the
you
stream with
verify
my
that?
internet.
I guess it's someone tell me if they could hear the sound when it did it. We did it when we were doing it before, but I guess it's not.
I didn't notice anything.
You didn't see a little image. Aunt Peru just subscribed. It shows the Darth Vader and stuff like that.
We'll see if I'll go back and listen to it afterwards.
It's showing the images.
If it doesn't work, then we'll figure it out.
I'm not hearing any sounds in my thing, but I can't hear any sounds when we're streaming anyway. Although we did the other day when we were testing it, so I don't know what's going on. All right, so.
You didn't kill anyone I know.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Now it's working. Okay, now I heard it. Okay, I didn't hear the BB-8 one. So okay, so there we go. So Hey Ranger. All right, got it. So far we got Bimatsu and we got Thane who donated. Thank you very much. Appreciate your donations. Thane says, "Hey Ranger, get Battlefront 2 already." Well, I need a PlayStation first, and I've already laid out the financial difficulties of getting that. So the message comes up, but there's no sound on our end. The Vader one should not. There's a one for BB-8. I think if you do sponsor, but we just heard the donation one. It did work. Yeah, so there it goes. All right, so it's starting to work. We'll work on the Kings, but at least the images are popping up anytime anybody does it in the chat. So you can sponsor us. That means you look $4.99 a month, or you can just donate something to the super chat function. With the super chat function, you can donate anything. And then if you do, you get the little cool tag, like you see some of the people in the chat. They are actual sponsors of the channel, which we're very much appreciative of. So with that being said, let's go through and see who's all in the chat and give everybody shout outs. That's what we like to do at the beginning of the stream. We got Doc Brito, we got Cybershark, we got Bimatsu, who's one of our sponsors. We got KP67s, we got Grim, we got, let me see here, Sith Lord. Hey, Sith. We got Keyboard from Scotland. She's always around. Danilo Papayas. He said Danilo. I think I mispronounced it again. I have to go back. Sorry, I'm a little bit off my game today. The tours here. Lucas T. Let's see here. Why is this? My stupid chat's not working. Let me go to I got a backup. Let me see. There we go. There we go. Now I got it. So Nicholas Thompson, thank you for being here. Well, a lot of people. Captain Blackbeard, R. KP67s. Let's see. Eric Peterson, glad to have you. Rosin972, always glad to have you. Hey, it's our boy MJ from Minnesota. What's going on up there in Minnesota? I'm sure it's butt cold as hell. I can know that. Alibaba and the 40 Rebels. Doc Brito. I think I said your name because you were the first one, so good. Border Womprant, Bad Rongo, Sean G. Let's see. Luke Die Rocker, one of our sponsors, is here. Ouchie Dumpling. Brad Still, our boy Ewalkin, who's a sponsor, glad to see you here. Victor Onetta, Fatality V2, Brad Zoe, Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, Corey Delmeyer, Mr. Handros, glad to have you here. You look like a new name. Demordian's here. Glad to have you here as always, my friend. Ted Danson's in our channel, guys. Awesome stuff.
That's amazing.
I know. I mean, we're having flashback. Luke Thyrocker, I think I said, but he's also one of the sponsors. Let's see. Pedro
Ted Danson is actually a VIP.
Who?
Ted Danson is actually a VIP on our Discord.
Thane Kyrell Ignati is here. I think I said Nicholas Thompson, but Straight Execution NA is here. Glad to have you here along for the ride. Atorus Drac Knight. Dexter Kilgore, glad to have you here. Let's see. Mighty Joe, glad to have you here. Vlad NWA, glad to have you here as well, sir. Henko 420, it's up to you, my man. Fiera Sigma, glad to have you here. Let's see. Got a lot of people here. Comb Cobra. Yolas 1, glad to have you here as well. Devil's Treasure, it's up to you, brah. Let's see. Let's see. I was trying to scroll through all the names. If there's any other Slash Random Hordes, glad to. I know you're a regular. Glad to have you here. Aunt Baru, Jedi Nate, Brad Steele, glad to have you here, my friend. Red Tiger Pearl, that's a new name. Glad to have you here. All right, and our boy Shadowville all the way from H-Town. Glad to have you here as well. All right, so if you have questions, put them in there. And then Loki will be scooping them up and handling that aspect of everything tonight. So we got all that done. So who's running the? I guess I'm running the stuff tonight. Who's doing what? I'm kind of confused. Am I doing the agenda and everything too? Did we lose Loki? So Loki, you there?
You're talking about the agenda?
Yeah.
I can do the agenda.
Okay. All right. So Sir Loki was skipping the questions. All right. So we did introductions. We did shout outs. What is the Twitter question tonight, Mr. Finnadoodle?
So the Twitter question is, when I saw TIE Silencer in Squadrons, I blank.
What did you do?
That is
Finn?
a reference. What was that?
What did you do when you saw TIE Silencer?
You'll have to wait until the end. I'll tell you.
Oh, okay. You're going to tease us a little bit. Okay. Is Sir Loki come back? I'm not hearing him.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So Sir Loki, scoop your questions. You got questions, go ahead and get them in. All right, so we got the Twitter.
Twitter-wise, make sure you go to our Twitter. It's Reality SKWD GMRS. So Reality Skewed Gamers, but Skewed and Gamers don't have vowels. So that's where you'll head. It's on the screen also in the top right. So you'll see our Twitter handle. Just hop on there and put a reply to the Twitter question, and we'll read them at the end of the stream.
All right. All right. That being said, what is the first thing on the to-do list to cover tonight, Mr. Finnadoodle? Finn?
So let's talk about the Kylo Ren promotion.
I'm pulling it up right now. There we go.
That's what she said.
Oh, look at you being filthy. We've been trying to get Finn to be more social. This is the second week in a row that he's being more social. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes and stuff. So, all right, I've got it up. So it says here, let me go from the top. I'll go ahead and read it. This is from CG Cozy Spoon. Hiya, Holotable Heroes. In celebration of the impending release of Battlefront 2, we're offering a promotion to you, our prestigious players. Please see below for further information on how to receive your very own Kylo Ren. And it says, a special gift from Star Wars Battlefront 2. Get to level 8 and get a free 4-star Kylo Ren. To redeem your in-game character, you got to download the link. Complete the tutorial if you haven't done it already, and then you get the free Kylo Ren. If you had already done it, then you got 80 Kylo Ren shards, so that was pretty cool. The promotion will go through February 1st, 2018. Do I need Battlefront 2? No, you do not. The promotion is limited to one per device, so you can only get it once. I'm underage and didn't get the promotion. We're sorry to inform you, but that per our age restrictions and agreements, pop-up ads are not allowed for underage accounts. So that answers that questions. Are there any countries excluded in this promotion? Should be available everywhere. I met all the above criteria, but I'm still encountering issues. For further assistance with this promotion, please contact EA Help at the following link. So that was kind of nice that they gave us 80 shards. I mean, someone linked that, and I was like, okay, let me go get my 80 Kylo Ren shards since I already have them 7 stars and everything. What do we think about this, or Loki? What do you think of the Kylo Ren giveaway?
I think it's good. Anything free is good.
I agree.
It went to the shard shop for me,
Yes,
but
it did.
I mean,
Same here.
could they have given us something, I guess,
Ren.
for the long-time players, something a little bit better? They could have, but I can't complain about something for free. So I will say thumbs up to them, and thank you for getting Apple, because Apple's normally left out, and I am on iOS. So thank you for my 80 shards.
Well, you need to get Android, my friend. You need to live in the here and now. Finnadoodle, your thoughts?
Pretty much the same as Loki. Even though it went straight to Shard Shop, because Shard Shop has so much gear and stuff now, I really had no complaints about even getting Shard Shop currency at this point. It was, I guess I was kind of hoping that it was because I got Battlefront 2, and it wasn't just like for everybody. So it would be nice to have something that was because we have Battlefront 2 that we get something in Galaxy of Heroes, but still, it's a nice gesture. It's a character unlock for anyone that's starting the game, which is nice. And Kylo is still fairly decent. He might not be like super meta, but he's still very usable in the game. So I liked it overall.
All right. There we go. All right. So is there anything really we need to talk about? I thought it was a nice little thing to give away to new players. You get a 4-star Kylo Ren. He should be pretty decent starting off the game with and everything. I think it's a good promotion. I think they did a good job on this. Overall, any thoughts? Good, bad, or ugly, you guys?
I think it's very good, actually.
Yeah, I like this.
You get like a named character for anyone that's starting the game, and you basically get a 4-star unlock of him. I mean, that's exactly what we were talking about before, which is kind of the entry fee, essentially the entrance cost to play this game. Cost of entry to actually become competitive. So I think it's actually a nice promotion and a good way to get new players into the game.
I agree. Anything else you want to add, Sir Loki?
No, I agree with what Finn said. Again, the only way they could have made it better is they give us somebody from Last Jedi, but I get it. It's free. I'm not going to complain. So it's a great move by CG and EA.
Yep, I agree too. All right. Let's move on to the next topic, which is what, Mr. Finn?
The unrestricted beta on Territory Wars.
All right, so let's get into this. I'm going to read it, and then we'll get into it.
We're just going to go head on into this. I'm sure it's what everybody wants to talk about, right?
Well, we're going to get into the beta.
There's so much other stuff going on in the community this week.
Yeah,
the Ewok event is back, man.
Nobody cares.
Excited for that?
No.
Get your 10 more wicket shards.
I got my 10 more wicket shards.
I'm sure you did.
There you go.
Finn. You're probably the only one. All right. So this is from CG Rydigs. It says, "Hello, Holotable Heroes. Thanks to all your efforts, we have hit our capacity for this beta. We'll keep you informed about the Territory Wars update in the future." And then he goes on to say in the original message, "Hello, Holotable Heroes. We are pleased to be able to offer the opportunities to participate in a beta for the upcoming Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes feature, Territory Wars. The beta will feature a Territory War starting on Tuesday, November 14th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, and will run for 4 days and will be limited to 10,000 players total on a first-come, first-served basis. The goal for the beta is to allow our players a chance to get an early look at Territory Wars and the ability to provide us valuable insights and feedback. Players interested in helping us with Territory Wars can follow the instructions below. A few details before you get started. The Territory Wars beta will only be available for players on Android devices. Sorry, iOS. As always, we encourage Android users to associate their Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes account with a Google Play Games account. You'll need to import your current account for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. To take part in the Territory Wars, you must be level 65 up. If you're not level 65, you can still download the beta. However, you will not be able to access Territory Wars or any other features you've unlocked in the game. You'll need to join our existing guild or join another guild to participate. Territories Wars is still in development, so you may experience issues and bugs while playing. We are primarily looking at the results of the stress test on our manufacturing feature and server environments. However, you come across any erroneous bugs in the beta, please feel free to report them on the forums. If issues become prohibitive to play, we'll take the beta server down and address them. We will keep you posted in the beta progress, blah, 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 blah. If you encounter any issues with your live account on the stream, please report them, blah, blah, blah. Nothing in the beta environment is considered final, so all numbers, text, art, rewards, and details are subject to change before the feature goes live. Once we get 10,000 players in the beta, the link will be removed, and we will no longer accept any more players. Get in early, tell your friends. Scope for details of the Territory Wars, please go here. And then it gives you instructions on how to download it. I'm not going to read all that. It does say you need to join and create a guild, goes through all that stuff, but then it says join the active Territory War. There are 2 scheduled Territory Wars. Players must join the Territory War in the first 24 hours event to participate. Tuesday, November 14th, and there'll be another one Friday, November 17th. Territory Wars Battle download is there, and it gives a bunch of other links and stuff like that. All right, so let's talk about the beta access itself. Good, bad, or ugly? What did you guys think about them opening up the beta to everybody and their mom?
Fantastic.
Finn thought it was fantastic. What did you think, Loki?
I think it's great. I think it's another step for them to improve their communication. So they want to give everybody a chance to jump on this opportunity, and then the people that did get on, we can now all see what's coming, and we can better prepare ourselves, right? So I think overall was good. I mean, it was easy to install. Again, I'm on Apple, or I'm on iOS, so they gave us specific instructions on the forum. Download this APK and get an emulator running on your PC or your Apple computer, and here you go. And this is how you do it. So overall, it's good.
Now, do you think that having so many people that they're going to be able to get really good constructive feedback? That's my only thing about this, that I'm like, I mean, usually betas are for a certain amount of people because they want to, you want a good sample size, right? You want to get a good sample size, but do you think 10,000, I mean, what are they trying to accomplish? I mean, with 10,000 people playing the game, yeah, but then you have to sift through all that data and stuff. And all of us being in the business world dealing with data is what we do. Do you think it's too much? Do you think they're going to get enough constructive feedback? Because there's people that join the beta who are just like, what's this? Okay. And not really do anything with it. So, I mean, do you think they'll be hampered a little bit by some of the feedback? Are they going to get good feedback from this? Or do you guys thought on the amount of people that they allowed with the feedback purposes?
I think it's the right amount. So here, in general, and I don't know about what the procedure was here, but in general, like they have, most games have like an alpha, a closed beta, and then an open beta before they're getting ready to release. And usually the major kinks are worked out during the alpha and the closed beta.
AKA Warcraft.
Yeah, and I mean, it's pretty much standard, and I've done some Blizzard games for betas as well, both closed and open. I don't think I did alpha with one game, but it wasn't a Blizzard game. It was just like a smaller game. But in general, they look for constructive criticism during the alpha and the beta. And then what they're looking for usually in the open beta is, depending on the game, now mobile game may be a little bit different, but in terms of like a PC game, they're looking for server maintenance. So they actually do try to get a high volume in order to see whether or not they can support at least a larger size than what they did in the initial testing. And then the next thing would be, even though they may not get, let's just suppose that out of the 10,000, only 1% of the players actually give like good feedback. Like they actually give constructive criticism. They give reasons for why they're doing X, Y, and Z and saying they shouldn't do something. Even out of 10,000, that's 100 responses. And usually alphas and betas are even smaller than that 100. They're usually pretty small groups that they're usually testing with. And alpha is sometimes just sometimes more senior developers as well. They may not even bring in gamers. So I think that the 10,000 is actually pretty reasonable. It provides a large number of guilds. The guilds are, while it's not your exact guilds in the real game, it is kind of like a hodgepodge of different time zones, of different schedules, different work schedules, and all that kind of stuff. I think it's also hampered a little bit with the fact that like iOS has to use an emulator in order to get access to it. So obviously you have to be near a specific computer versus just on your mobile device. So that adds like a little bit of a new element to it. But you actually get to test out all of the things that we had complaints about with territory battles. When territory battles came out, we were talking about how it wasn't friendly for guilds with multiple different schedules, with players with different schedules, different time zones, all these different kind of things came up.
Porgs.
And porgs. We always need porgs. But now we get to test it with territory wars. So I think 10,000 is a pretty good amount. I hope that a lot of players, and I'm not going to expect everyone to, but I hope a lot of players are taking it seriously. This is the first open beta they've put out, and we have asked for the opportunity to become beta testers.
Yes.
We didn't want to be beta testers when it was live. We wanted it to be beta testers while it was still in a production phase. So we're not dealing with consequences on our main account. And they're actually providing the opportunity for the players. Our stream and many others have actually voiced that. And now that they're doing it, I hope that the community takes it seriously, because now it's also reflective on us to make sure that we are being productive towards the developers. And it's not just, we don't like this, we don't like this. It's more of a, why don't you like it? What can we do to make better type of mentality? Mm-hmm. And more responses, all the better. So hopefully it works out for the best.
Yep. Loki, any thoughts?
No, I agree 100% with Finn.
No, dare to say something.
No, I do agree with him.
No,
but I also,
you can agree with Finn that he wins.
Yeah. No, I mean, Ranger, you brought up a great point too. I mean, is it enough? What exactly are they doing? That's the thing. I read the post. Was there any links or anything where you can actually submit feedback, or that hasn't been given yet?
It hasn't been given
Did anybody
yet.
Notice?
So
okay.
They have a new forum set up. So if you go into the guild and player events section, they have a...
Was it open beta or what's it called?
I think they have something set up over there where you can just post things.
Well, that's good to know. I mean, all that's really important. I hope all 10,000 players or whatever the final count was that they accepted actually be a lot of just people along for the ride, and they just want to play around. And we spoke about this earlier, and we'll probably get into it in a little bit right now. But the best part of it right now is arena, right? So that's really fun. But
yeah, that was fun.
But
I
super fun.
Gave up to it because I was like, I got regular arena to do. I can't be dicking around with this. so I think I climbed a little bit. I was like, oh, I ain't got time for this, man. It's like
right
to do all those battles because you start off so low. I was like, God damn it,
Yeah, I mean, I told my guild mates, I kind of put out there. I said, hey, use this time also to check out the arena, but don't get caught up in climbing the ladder. But
it's been funny watching the guys from TI and Dark Lords and stuff.
Oh, it's great, man! It's so entertaining.
I know,
love
just watching the Dark Lords and the TI guys are like, oh my God, this guy's these mega whales just going at it. I was listening to Grandi and the other day, like, Jesus Christ! I was dying laughing watching this stuff happen live. And it was cracking me up because these guys, they're so competitive. They're just going at each other like just ruthlessly. But I think they loved it because it was so good to see people outside your shard that you can get in there and just kind of play around with.
It's fun again. I mean, for me, it's fun. I mean, we're all older players now. We want to fight the other older players. Some of our longtime friends, obviously, in other guilds, but it's totally fun. But again, the purpose of this thing is for territory wars, right? So don't get caught up in the fake arena. But at the same time, what I was going to suggest was look at the teams that they're running in arena right now and look at everybody's mods, right? So everybody imported all their mods, all their rosters, right? Look at the mods because, again, going back to territory wars, this is going to be a great way to kind of know exactly where your roster is, where your guild is, and you kind of can emulate the way other people have modded their teams. You got a lot of, there's a lot of Night Sisters, a lot of CLS Rebels, there's a lot of GK Zeris. Not everybody needs the fastest mods or the tankiest mods or whatever. And I think when Territory Wars actually drops for real, we're going to have to construct, 5 to 10 teams with mods.
Yeah.
So use this. If you're in the beta, use it to kind of study and take notes. And then when the real Territory Wars happens, then you're kind of ready, right? But again, they could change everything. We don't know.
Yeah,
but
up in the air.
But overall, I think it's great. It's cool to be able to see the stuff. We've always been, recently everybody's dropping leaks and all this stuff. Now we all see it, right?
Yeah.
And nobody has to be afraid of dropping screenshots from the open beta now because it's an open beta, right? Even if you didn't get in, people in your guild can share it with you because it is an open beta platform. Yeah. So again, I hope the 10,000 players that are participating do give constructive criticism, and I hope CG and EA continues doing something like this where they're involving real players with the real mods, with real rosters, and everybody is clicking and pressing buttons and doing everything like we want to do. It's not a simulation. It's not AI. It's real people doing their thing. So yeah, I'm totally stoked about that.
I agree. All right, so I think we've covered that for the beta. We all agree it was pretty decent, pretty good.
And one thing just to add, it looks like
we don't
most
care
of
what
the
you think
people...
anymore, Finn. You failed me.
No. And if you go to the general discussions area, it looks like most of the people are posting stuff in the Territory Wars overview section. Mm-hmm. For like feedback as we're kind of going along. So I've seen some responses from the devs on that one. So I think that's where people are posting it all.
Communication is always good. So kudos to the devs and for doing this and stuff. So I think we give the devs a thumbs up and stuff, guys. I think we all agree on that, right? So good job, guys. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is talk about Territory Wars overview itself. So this is from CG Cozy Spoon. This was last updated on 11/15. So today. Okay, hold on. Wait, there's two posts. Oh, this is from Cozy Spoon. Okay. This is from Cozy Spoon, update 11/15. I've appended the original mega post in order to address player feedback and questions. Apologies if I did not address your particular query, but hopefully this will illuminate some points as well as excitedly await the launch of Territory Wars. The dominant strategy will be set to all CLS squads on defense. Interesting point. We're going to get into this. While putting your best squads on defense is one way to go, there are some shortcomings with that strategies to consider. Players attacking the squad can choose a squad that has a strategic advantage over the defensive squad. For example, Night Sisters have proven to be strong against CLS squads. The attacking player has a clear strategic advantage over an AI-controlled defensive squad. A guild earns the most banners by conquering a territory, so setting strong defense is smart to mitigate the other guild conquering territories. However, if all your best squads are put on defense, then your guild will be unlikely to defeat any of the opponent territories. Given the advantage players have on offense, this is a risky strategy. Guild currency isn't a compelling reward for territory battles. A reorganization of the guild store will occur with our impending version update that will provide additional valuable items to purchase. Please stay tuned. All right, so let's get into Territory Wars. Let's go to Sir Loki first, and let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's talk about the good. So, Loki, let's start with the good. What is the one good thing or things that you like about the Territory Wars that you've seen so far?
Super early right now. I mean,
initial
prizes
thoughts,
are kind of,
initial thoughts, just something good. Give me one thing.
I like the idea of setting up. So they're giving us a day to lock our rosters, I guess, to remod them, move stuff around. And then it seems like there's another day now we're going to do defense, right? So that seems kind of fun. Overall, I hope it brings back some of the theorycraft, which is what I guess I've been missing this whole time. Probably within the last year and a half, there's not much theory crafting anymore. So I'm looking forward to that. It just depends how long this is going to take. So that's, I have more. I'm skeptical about more than actually.
Stick to the good. We'll get to the bad and the ugly.
No, it's a theory craft thing, which again, I think that's going to be important. It's going to be another fun guild activity. It's got to involve the whole guild, and everybody's got to be on board. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the prizes. I mean, was it 3 Zetas, a loot crate, and some was that guild tokens? They did say in the post that they're going to rework the guild store. So I'm excited to see what they throw in there. Maybe they throw some stuff from the territory battle store into there, and give us more opportunity to buy that stuff. But those would be my top 3.
All right. Finadoodle.
So access to more Zetas, definitely my first good.
That was mine.
We're definitely starving for those. The second thing is that they are trying to have more ways for people to use their entire roster.
Is that a good?
Hmm?
Well, it's your opinion. So you think that's a good thing? Okay.
It's good to an extent. Now, obviously,
don't get into the bad, just the good.
Yeah, I know. But I like the fact that they are looking for ways to allow people to use their whole roster. So even like a character like Cup may have some use somewhere in there. And just for a reference, in the RSG guild in the beta, one of the territories, the instructions I put was any squad with a Cup. So we're putting Cup squads in ours. But I think that's one of the other goods. And then the third one is
It doesn't have to be 3. It's just whatever you think is good.
There is a third one, but it comes with a little bit of like an asterisk next to it, which I'll get into.
So we'll put that as a bad, like a mixture.
Well, so I like the fact that it does include some kind of strategy. It's not necessarily just go point in a direction and fire. There is some strategy to it. So I do like that it is strategic in how you're setting up offense and defense. So those are the things that I like about Territory Wars right now.
All right, let's get into the bad. Locomotive, what do you think is bad? What did you see there that you kind of gave you pause and stuff like that?
Shoot, man, there's too many. There's more than 3. I mean, but
no, that's what we're here. Now, if there's any that are ugly, put those for the ugly. But the bad are just things that are like, it's okay, they could do better kind of thing. Or,
I mean, there's like bad, there's ugly, and there's bad ugly, right?
Well, okay, let's start with bad. Let's just start with bad. The top. Let's give a couple of bad top of your list that you think.
I mean, first off the bat, it's gonna be it's just the time, man. We don't know what it's gonna do on the guild.
Damn it, that was
now.
mine. God, I'm just gonna let you.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That's what we're asking. So
that's just I'm taking it at face value, so I'm not gonna get into all of it, but I'm just saying it's another possible time-consuming thing. Is it possible to get this thing on farm one day? Probably. It would have been nice to release this thing after territory battles was on farm for a lot of guilds, but I mean, the territory battles alone, I mean, everybody's still babysitting and directing and all that stuff, and now you're adding another event to this thing.
In between the territory battles. So this will happen, from what I understand, in between the territory battles. So you're not going to have a day off ever.
So that's going to be interesting because it's already been 2 days, right? Mm-hmm. Or it's been, let's just say, I don't know, 35 hours or 36 hours, right? Because the first time we signed up, then we did the preview, right? Mm-hmm. And then now we're doing assigning the defense. So is the total amount of time this thing going to be like 4 days? Because is one team going to attack the other one day and then the other team going to attack the other another day? So that's 4 days, right?
I don't know.
Is that the total break in between the territory battles right now? I think it is, right? It's like 4 or 5 days.
It's 4 days, so it'll be 4 days of this, and then you do your territory battles, and then they'll do another round of this.
Right. So if that's just a continuous cadence, that's going to be again, it's going back to time. It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, that was top of my list too. we all think alike. I mean, Jesus, we talk about this crap all the time, so it's no shock. What's another thing that kind of made your pooper hurt?
We mentioned the prizes. I mean, again, are the prizes going to be worth it? We know what the prizes are, right?
Yes.
Is that worth it again for 4 days?
I know.
That's just it's a question obviously everybody has. Is it worth it? You see the bracket, right? So it's like 160 million GP total. Guild GP gets this loot crate and all that stuff. And then it gets broken down, right? It's like 140 on, and then 120 on, and so I like the way they I kind of like the way they did that, because it gives the other guilds with a lower GP able to get some Zetas, right? I think the lowest you can be is 60 mil right now, is what it is.
Top of my head,
So,
I don't know.
Something like that. But you get one Zeta, so I mean, one Zeta in 4 days, is it worth it, right? That's the bad question, right?
Yeah.
There, I'm saying, but
that's more than I get on challenges in 2 weeks. Sometimes.
I know. Some days you get challenges where I'm like, "Hey, I got 4," and then the next week, "Hey, next challenge, I'm like, I got none. I didn't even get an Omega."
But anyway, what do you think, Finn?
So
You're
actually,
bad, Finn.
Your bad actually reminded me of a potential good that I forgot to include. The preview phase is when players have
we're doing bad.
to. I know, but I'll get to the bad here in a second. But one of the good things, which I think needs to be mentioned, is the preview phase is when players have to actually sign up for the territory battle.
Mm-hmm.
So if for whatever reason you didn't want to partake in a territory battle, it looks like you could just not sign up, and your guild would be matched based on the amount of GP that is actually being used in the war. So it's not like territory battles where if you're not there, you still have to meet the same standards and you just drop. If you're not there for a territory war, let's just say that you don't want to do something, then you don't have to enlist, I guess, in that particular war. And then you'll be matched with somebody that has the same GP as you, even though you're only 49 out of 50 or 48 out of 50 or whatever it is.
That's one of my bads.
I like the fact that they incorporate it.
My bad is that this is going to turn into the guilds with the top GP are just going to always be fighting each other, and the guilds in certain levels are going to be fighting each other. I mean, how flexible are they going to be with the galactic power with this?
Yeah, Finn brings up a good point, though. I mean, let's say, okay, so TI right now has got like 160 plus, right?
Yeah, 160. The one I'm in is in like almost 145.
So here's an interesting
thought. Are we fighting my TI brothers? That'll be fun. Not.
Well, no, I mean, so going back to Finn's statement there was, if they decide, hey, let's 15 guys got to go on vacation for whatever, right?
Yeah.
They could still be 120 mil GP and only have 35, right? How do you match up that guild? Do you match them to 35 people in another guild, or do you match them per GP? Like, nobody knows yet.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting thing to think about is if you have enough GP to where you can game it and be like, hey, let's give half the guild off, and then the other guild we go, right? That's another way to look at it. So that everybody is always doing territory wars every 6 days, right? I mean, I don't know if anybody's actually going to do that, but that is a possibility, that you can have 30 people in a guild and you still have 120 mil GP, right?
Yeah.
So that was going to be the other bad with regards to that. So I like the fact that they include the opportunity for people just to bow out and not necessarily partake in it if they're busy or vacation and that kind of stuff. The bad part is I don't know how that's going to mess with the matchmaking, like you're mentioning. That could be okay. That could potentially ruin it. So that's definitely one aspect. Another bad is kind of to go along with what Loki said in terms of the time that's needed. So I was saying one of the goods is that it's strategic, right? It's not just point in a direction and fire type thing. You have to actually kind of plan. The problem at this point that I'm seeing is that it's a lot of coordination. So there is kind of a fine line between being strategic and needing a lot of coordination, because the more coordination that you need, the more time that needs to be invested into doing something, and the more it seems kind of like a burden compared to actually just being like a fun aspect of the game. And at this point so far, and obviously it's still early, we haven't done the offensive phase yet, it looks like you're going to have to, at least at the beginning, and maybe it'll become easier as you do it more with your guild, figure out how you're going to be setting up your defense. It's going to require a lot of squad overview. And something we were just discussing earlier, Loki, before the stream, and I went back and checked Cozy's original post about the territory war overview. Squads that are put on defense cannot be used on offense. So that becomes another issue with that. So while I like the fact that it utilizes your entire collection, which is one of the good things that it has, the thing that I don't like is that if you put it on defense and you can't use it on offense, and let's be honest, most of the people just want to fight other people's best team with their best team. So if you're putting your best teams on defense, then you're not actually fighting the other opponent's team with those. So I mean, everything that they've done has like a good side to it, but also like a bad side that hopefully, as we're going through this process, they're able to tweak. Because I don't like the fact that you have to put squads on defense, and then you can't utilize them on offense. And
I don't like that either. I don't like that either.
I'm gonna go to what Cozy said about CLS being good on defense, which I agree with the sentiment that CLS is being put on defense. But look how much time they have put in, and look at the effort that they have put in order to make CLS meta. Is it really in their best interest to make Commander Luke somebody that everyone just throws on defense and doesn't use on offense in Territory War? Like, why would you make something so that players won't play pretty much the most exclusive character in the game right now and pretty much the best character in the game? Why would you make it so he's better on defense and then can't use him on offense? Like, you should want people to play their CLS against the opponent's CLS.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a mix, right? So I like the fact that he uses the collection, but I don't like the fact that you're restricted into either offense or defense, and then you kind of get kind of stuck with having to decide and figure out how you're distributing your roster and that kind of stuff.
All right, before we get to the bad for the ugly, then I just want to remind people we got the cool new little graphics. So if you want to see them, donate, give us a thumbs up. I don't think we have one for thumbs up, but you can subscribe to the channel, and then you can also sponsor us, and you can see the cool little graphics we got for the channel. So that being said, let's get into the ugly. Ugly. Loki, is there anything that just falls into the realm of ugly for you?
Shoot, I don't even know where to start, man. I mean, a lot of it is just skepticism.
I would say from the beginning, but that's just me.
It's tough to say, man. I mean, all the bad that we mentioned could turn ugly too, right? I mean, I was mentioning the Finn earlier. I think, who was it in the chat? Was it Grim? I mean, it's going to be the time, man. I mean, look how much coordination and all the little tools and Excel spreadsheets we need just for territory battle.
Right.
Now, are we going to need a whole new set of tracking tools? Finding out whose best squads are what, and maybe the Crouching Rancor guys can make another tool, or I mean, I don't know, man. It's I want to see the kinds of tools they're going to give us, but that's going to be a lot of coordination now. I was mentioning the Finn. You're probably going to have to double your officer count in your guild now.
Oh, yeah.
And assign an officer per section.
Squad leaders now.
Yeah, you're going to need like sub leaders for defense, and then leaders for like offense too. Everybody's going to need a Grande Patron in their guild to look at everybody's mods. I mean, that guy loves looking at mods, but look how long it takes.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got 50 people, right? That's probably the ugly on my part, just the time, man. I mean, I can't stress that enough that, I hope it's going to be on farm, but I just have a feeling that it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to manage like that if you don't have a lot of help. And I don't know if the tools are going to be enough. We haven't seen the tools yet, but we're kind of playing with a little of them, right?
I did notice one thing doing arena and stuff. I did notice one thing where they have, like, if they have more than one heal and stuff, that they put the little numbers on top of that. That was a nice little feature in the arena that I noticed that they did that. So that was a good. It just made me think of it when you said something about time and stuff. I don't know why, but it just registered.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
I mean, they're locking mods. I mean, that's the other ugly thing, right? I mean, how many of us have 10 sets of good mods?
But I understand why they're doing it, and
I know why they're doing it.
You do, don't you, Loki?
I'm sorry.
Don't you have like 800 sets of good mods?
I mean, good lord, Loki's mods are ridiculous.
I have like 800 mods, but I mean, now I have to go back and actually make sets, right? I mean, it's not just speed anymore, right? It's something else. So, and then who do you want to put speed mods on? You know?
Yeah, it's still speed everywhere.
Loki's mods are retarded.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, if you got access to the beta, check out the arena, check out everybody's mods, and that's what we're going to be fighting against, right? I mean, this giant arena, arena section in the beta is your territory. I mean, this is it, territory wars, right? Look at the mods. So do some studying up on that, but yeah, that's what I'm dreading right now is the time it's going to take, and then the amount of manpower now.
Yeah. All right, Finn, let's go to you. What's your ugly?
So my ugly could potentially turn good. It's a little bit different than Loki talking about the bad becoming ugly. I think the ugly could actually turn into good if the developers are kind of paying attention to the reaction to the beta as a whole. I think the ugly is that the territory war has been completely outshadowed by the fact that people are having ridiculous amounts of fun in the arena. It's been a long time since players have asked for a way just to be able to fight other people just for fun, whether it is their allies, whether it is their guildmates, right. Whatever it is. I think people are having more fun in beta just farting around in arena and fighting people that they know. Yeah, and ship arena, just like fighting people that they know, trying to, and forget about the leaderboard. There's a leaderboard aspect that's always just kind of an e-team type thing, and everyone wants to just try and get on the top. But I think people are having fun actually seeing people that they've played with for such a long time, because I think I would venture to guess about like the majority of the people that are doing the beta are pretty much long-time players at this point. The ones that are always active on the forums, they saw the posts, they did everything. So I would venture most of them are pretty long-time players, heavily invested into the game. And at some point, we've all kind of come across each other, whether it's on Discord, whether it's in-game on other things, whether it's through streams like this, or Warriors, or Mobile Gamer, or whoever it is. Like, when you interact with these people, you want to play against their squads. And it wasn't possible, but now with the beta, everyone is just kind of looking for other people and trying to find out where somebody else is, even if it's in the 500s, 600s, 400s. Like, everyone is just having fun trying to find people and play with them. I would, at this point, say kind of the ugly part about the beta is that Territory Wars has kind of taken a back seat to the skirmish mode that they've made in Arena. And I really hope that they take some more time on Territory Wars. The time investment that Loki said is definitely an ugly aspect of it. More time investment for something that feels like it's a chore is going to affect the game negatively. But something just as simple as the ability to fight your allies, fight your guildmates, just fight their arena squads, whatever it is, test out different squads against them. Players can be left to their own devices in order to make fun with that. I mean, we could set up our own tournaments and just fight against each other's arena squads and we could just do so much random stuff. And that's all players want. They want something that's fun, and what's turned out to be the most fun is Arena, despite the fact that the beta was for Territory Wars. So in that aspect, if you're looking at it from the Territory War side of it, I think that's probably the ugly, because it's taken away focus from what actually Territory War is. And I hope they do take that into account when they're looking at things to introduce in the game, what players actually find enjoyable.
I agree. And my ugly is I'm just still trying to figure out, there's the whole time thing, there's everything, but it's really, what are they trying to, I was bringing this up earlier with the guys, and it's my ugly is, what are we trying to accomplish with territory battles? Is it a way to give out more rewards? Because I look at the thing that Loki brought up with the time, and I look at the things that Finn brought up, and looking at everything, and it's like, what are we trying to accomplish here in the game? I mean, one thing I know players wanted to have is the ability to fight their friends. Even if it was just an aspect of something off to the side. But territory battles, it just seems like what was it? What did they do? I can't think all of a sudden. Good Lord. The tournaments all over again. right? You just do tournaments, but you do it in territory wars. I mean, it's a cool concept. I just don't think it's a lot of fun, and it's more of a time sink, right? Um, I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with this aspect. I commend them for trying to think outside the box and come up with something, right? And it'd be kind of cool to have guilds fight guilds. However, it's just it's the tournament all over again. Really, here, put your teams here and then fight them. You're not. I mean, what's the enjoyment factor of it? And I'm not seeing the enjoyment factor of it. I mean, it's a cool concept, but I mean. It reaches a level where it's like, okay, I'm not really fighting anybody else. I'm just fighting somebody else's, not their best team either. I'm just fighting a team in territory wars. I mean, there's a little strategic part of it, but it just seems like it's going to be more work and hassle than it's going to be worth it in the long run. And, there's got to be a fun aspect to this part of it, and I'm not seeing the fun aspect. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm off a little bit. I know it's this little beta version, but the cool thing would be if you could fight someone from another guild live, arena versus arena. That would be absolutely brilliant. You have all these territories. You pick squads. They go against each other in certain parts of the territory wars, and then you go at it with your best team. That's what this should be. It shouldn't be, well, I have to use all my whole roster and stuff like that. I mean, that's boring and it's not fun. I don't see the fun in it. I'm sorry, CG, but I think you could have gone a different direction with this. And I think that if you want to make territory wars fun, it should be live PvP versus somebody. Something of their best team against your best team. You're fighting them, and that's what it should be like. Finn brought up the arena aspect. We're having a blast with that. If you could incorporate that into territory wars, that would be a hell of a lot funner than facing somebody's B- team that that they put on defense because they're using their best team on offense and vice versa. There's just nothing fun in it. You go in, you fight the AI. We fight the AI all the time. There's no fun in that. It's boring. Unless you're going to make the AI better, but it's not fun. I don't see the fun aspect of this. I mean, Finn, Loki, do you think I'm crazy on this aspect, or what do you guys think of my statement there that I just don't think it's going to be a lot of fun?
I think the live aspect is going to be very tricky.
I don't care if it's tricky. These are programmers. These are developers. Fix it.
No. Just from a player standpoint, just think about what happens if you are in a U.S. guild that gets matched up against like a Japanese guild.
So let's take the live aspect of it. But let's say you pick 5 teams in each territory battle, right? 5 members from each of your guilds, and then you pick your best 5 to go against them. Wouldn't that be a lot more funner than just trying to attack territories with like people's like B and C teams that have somewhat decent mods? What fun is that? Especially with the AI, you're just going to go in there and slaughter their ass.
Well, so it's not even just that, right? So this is what I was mentioning to Loki earlier, which is what they could just do as a simple, and I mean, it's simple conceptually. I know programming is going to be a whole different thing, but rather than having offense and defense set differently, right? Why not just have it so the teams that you place in the territories are the only ones that you can utilize in the war?
Yeah.
And then those ones then attack. It's almost like a game of Risk, where you have your squad set up in each of the different territories, and then you just move it against the map. So you then try to beat the other person's territory, and you can see whichever team gets farther. So both your squad, your team, against your opponent's team that they set on defense, you then instruct like your territory just to go across. So like the first one has like 2 territories each, so each one just attacks across. So the players will just attack across and move forward as much as they can. Whenever they have time, they just keep on attacking, move forward, try to get all the way to the back line. I mean, that would be just the simplest thing. It's just kind of like a game of Risk with Star Wars characters.
Right, absolutely.
There is something else that you mentioned though, which I'm glad you brought up, because I don't think we mentioned this very explicitly here, which is the tournament aspect. Let's not forget that what they wrote about the cheating aspect doesn't leave much security for players. No. Their response to the fact that there can be potential cheating with territory wars was, if you suspect that the opponent is cheating, just report them. I mean, that's not very comforting for something that gets rewards, right? That basically means that there is the ability to cheat, and it can cause major problems. And this is why they pulled tournaments to begin with. So if this isn't going to be resolved when Territory Wars is actually released, then it shouldn't be released because it's just going to cause more headaches, more problems. It's going to look like CG is okay with cheating as long as people are trying to police themselves. Yeah, and they're not. I know that they're not. And I can say this with relative certainty that I am sure they're trying to find a way to stop the APK hacking of the game because it is in their own best interest not to have their product hacked and then kind of just ruining the game for the players. So I'm sure they're trying to find a way to prevent it. The problem is if you're releasing something where it's possible, then it's still going to cause the issues, right? So you don't want that out there. You don't want a known flawed product out there that can cause these kind of issues and major issues because this is now going to require like data maps as your reward. So anytime there's rewards attached to it, you definitely want to make sure
especially the amount of Zetas they're offering. I mean, that's going to be, you're just tempting fate.
Exactly. And so I really hope that they're looking into that cheating aspect also because if cheating starts to occur and people there's going to be two paths that's mainly going to happen, right? There's going to be some that are just going to be obviously cheating and they're going to get caught. But otherwise, you're going to either have one group of people that doesn't recognize that the other side is cheating, and those cheaters are going to continue along for a long time, or you're going to get the other side where players are just losing and they always think the other players are cheating, and they're going to report everybody is cheating, and it's not going to help. So it's just going to be a massive cluster unless they find a way to make this so the cheating is not as available. And until that point, I don't mind them holding off on releasing it. If there's a reason for holding off on new content, that's as good a reason as I can think of. Because then they had to pull tournaments, and tournaments looked awful.
Tournaments were garbage. I mean, some people had fun with it, but I mean, the cheating aspect and everything else, it was just not well executed. Sorry. I mean, it wasn't.
Well, I hate to say it now after Finn mentioned it, is tournaments, the problem with tournaments is you only had a group of people reporting one guy, right?
Right.
Now you're going to have one whole guild reporting another whole guild.
I know.
Of 50 players, right? And whether or not 5 or 10 or whatever cheated in that group of 50, they're all going to be punished now, right, is what I'm hearing. So it's almost like they're turning us into police, for this whole thing because the tournaments is like one-on-one, right? So
right.
Yeah, you can collude and you can have maybe the top 20 say, hey, this guy at number 4 is cheating, right? But again, that's only 20 voices. Now we're going guild on guild, and it's like this whole guild is cheating now, and it's like, what are they doing now? So hopefully they're listening to this because that's a big issue too because you've just increased your number of like lookouts, right? That's the thing.
Every time I see the GVG anywhere in chat or anything like that, I'm just thinking automatically girl versus girl, and it makes me happy. But I'm not thinking Guild v. Guild. Everybody take a moment. Girl v. Girl.
There's all your donations going to Ranger's porn stash coming to life.
I wish, man. God, I mean, that would be lovely, man. I'd pay for some prostitutes, get some blow, man. I'd be happy. Fortunately, I keep putting it all back into the stream. And so I sit before you, a broken and poor college student. So, someday, Finn, Loki will be wealthy and wise, and we'll all own a mansion, and we'll just all we'll do is stream Star Wars stuff.
Okay, good. You went that way. I thought you were gonna go with the hookers and blow angle.
I mean, if you want to support us with hookers and blow, then I mean,
no, thank you. Not for me.
donate
You can give it to Ranger. I'll pass.
Yeah. Finn, we're gonna get you next year for EA. We're gonna go there for the event, and we're gonna get you just tore up from the floor up. We're gonna smoke some weed. We're gonna drink some. We're gonna just get you laid. Like we're gonna make it happen. Finn will come back a changed man. He will burn his Ewok and pork. He's like, I love girls
so
or
like
guys. If you're into guys, that's cool too.
The Hangover Bollywood edition, man.
Yeah, there we go.
Shoot for.
Oh, I like it. I like it, Loki. I like your thinking.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Because all we have to do is like, you see that guy over there? Yeah, he's a doctor. Oh shit. No, Bimatsu is not going to hookers or blow. It would be a wholly different stream if it was the case. Mr. Handel says, this is Saturday night. Keep it clean, guys. No, this is a stream, period. And I'm drinking because my brain is so melted from probability statistics and stuff like that. I can't. This is kind of
like still considerably cleaner than Saturday.
Oh, way cleaner. I mean, we're not even going to mention the stuff that gets said late Saturday night.
It's the ladies that make it dirty, man.
I know, I love it. They just get.
I love it, but at the same time, man, they're just wow.
T-Money and Rain Day, and I mean, they just. Good Lord, they just was like, all right, let's talk about this. Like, oh, like, oh my God. So if you want to have the fun. We get snooker drunk and have fun with the ladies stream. That's always Saturday night RSG stream. This is more about news and information. So let's see here. So we covered Territory Wars. I think we covered it pretty well. I mean, is there anything else? I think we've hit the mark on this. What's next, Mr. Finadoodle?
I'll just mention really quick from the beta test as well. Just a couple of other things with regards to the beta as a whole. So you mentioned one of the other changes. I don't know if any of you guys noticed any other ones, but the two other changes that I noticed is one, like you mentioned, Ranger, like all the buffs and debuffs, like kind of just are one with a little number above it. So now you can see how many are stacked.
I like that.
The other thing is that challenges now have a 2-minute cooldown instead of 10 minutes. So I really like that change.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff CG's doing. I mean, the criticism we give CG is out of love. Look, we may burn their ass sometimes, but it's really because we care. If we didn't care, we wouldn't say anything. We wouldn't even be streaming. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we can get a little harsh, but I mean, in the military, I got my ass chewed out all the time, but I learned a lesson from it, and it made me a better soldier and a better person. So, it just makes you tougher, all right, and it makes you better. And that's all we want. We just want to have the best game possible. But I think we're being pretty civil tonight. I don't think we've gone off. Yeah. So it's just
there was the other part to Cozy's post.
Was there? I only got the one this part you sent me here. I didn't get anything else.
Yes, it's all the way at the bottom. So they're
all the way at the bottom. Let me go all the way to the bottom here. I'm not seeing anything from Cozy on the bottom.
The guild store aspect of it.
Oh, of the actual first post? Let me go back up there. Oh, a reorganization of the guild store will occur with our impending version update that will provide additional valuable items to purchase. Please stay tuned. I think that just means they're going to put better gear in there for us to purchase in there. What do you think?
So that's what I wanted to kind of discuss. Like, there's been some things that, I mean, I'm going to throw something potentially out there as well. But one of the things that I noticed on, like, when I'm running my my Grande Patron's beard account, is
the
that
what account?
It's my alt. It's like my level 60 something alt. It's called Grande Patron's beard. It was made the day that he shaved it in memoriam of his beard.
Let's have a moment of silence for Grande Patron's beard. Oh, all right, we're done.
That's enough. That's enough.
So, at lower levels, you can actually buy those Mark III shower drains with guild tokens. They actually go away at higher levels, but I think it's up to like level 65 or something like that. You can actually buy the Mark III shower drain.
You know, my whole thing with the guild purchases of gear, it's such a deviation from the other stores, right? You get 2 for 600 for the pieces that you get in the guild store.
I would still buy them. I need like freaking 800 shower drains.
I get character shards. They're way more important. That is not worth the investment.
I already have every character from the guild store.
Well, then you're different. But I'm talking about the other folks out there that don't have every character. Finadoodle. You got to think
they're
outside.
They're still probably better off getting shower drains.
No, they're not. God damn it, Finn. Quit putting people in the wrong direction.
But I think it would be nice. So that is one of the most like utilized items. I think the Mark III shower drains and the Mark III Carbantes are probably the things that most people need on like a billion characters right now. And it's just weird that they don't.
I got like 7 or 8 characters. I still have to get the 7 stars, man. It's like, god damn.
Yeah. But I mean, in addition to that, and this is going to be my theory. I don't know if you have a different one, Loki. I have this weird feeling that somehow Veteran Han or Veteran Chewie are going to end up as a static node in Guild Store. I think maybe that's the change that they're going for. I don't know. What do you think?
I really hope so. It seems like they've been doing that, but they've only been doing it in shipments, where like Ahsoka or Nihilus or whoever had a dedicated spot, right? I think Logray right now has got the dedicated spot, right? The top left.
Yeah, and I've been getting a lot of Logray shards too.
Yeah, it rotates that one. So I'm thinking maybe they have one that doesn't rotate just specifically for him, but I hope so. Static.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope, it needs a shuffle, right? I mean, we don't need the MK4 Fusion Furnace prototype anymore, right? Like, we don't need that. We need those little green gears that I like, and then if anybody's going to start going Gear 12, the little green discs, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I do too.
I hate that thing, man, because you got to farm like 5 different pieces to construct it, right? But what they also have to put in is, as you get, the ones that are actually going to Gear 12, you're going to need those eyeballs, both of them, the dark one and the light one, right? And then you're going to need the Mark IV, that one that was useless until Gear 12 came out, right? Those things are headaches to farm. The Mark 8, any of the dark pieces, I hope they throw them in there. So, or who knows, right? They pulled all the characters out of the shard shop, right? And they just put gear in there. So maybe they do the same thing with the guild store and they just take all the characters out and put gear in there, right? So, I don't know.
Put the gear in there. Nah.
Yeah, but I hope they do something with if the veterans are needed for lightsaber Rey, then they definitely got to throw them in there.
Yeah, I've been farming veteran Han and veteran Chewie. I've gotten both 4 stars, and I'm working on 5 stars. But it's like, it's so much farming, man. It's like, I'm just trying to get characters to 7 stars, and then I'm working my way up, But I just have this. I'm just trying to get ahead of the curve with veteran Han and veteran Chewie. I don't know where they're going to go or where they're going to be put at, but I want to be ahead of the curve so when they come out that I have a better chance of getting them so I can get lightsaber Rey. Because I really don't want to have to spend a lot of money on it because that would suck. Jesus, just to get a character. All right, so we've covered everything. What's next, Finadoodle? Finn?
Let's go to the meta and data report.
Oh, this will be fun.
That just came out.
Yeah, so brought to you by Ranger J, 1999 Adult Diaperoos. If you're doing a stream and you have to pee, why go up and use the bathroom? Just pee your pants. And this way you can stay nice and dry. Ranger J, 1999 Adult Diaperoos. You can get them nowhere. All right, that being said, let's go to the meta report. Brought to you by Ranger J, 1999 Adult Diaperoos. All right, here we go. A little bit of a change. There's more General Kenobis. What am I looking at here? Finn and Loki are talking in Skype. What are you guys talking about that's breaking up?
It's fine. You keep going. I think it's just on our end, so I think they can hear you.
Well,
fine.
You guys are both using dinosaur phone connections. I don't know what the hell's going on. The Pac-Man has shrunk a little bit. He's still prevalent, but that's because more General Kenobi teams are coming out. CLS is still dominant by far, but Kenobi's taking a bigger portion of the pie. Anything, Loki, that sticks out for you looking at ye old meta report? Did we lose Loki?
No, I'm here. I'm looking at it.
Well, don't do that. You messed me up, man. I'm thinking like, oh, we lost Loki. Oh no.
That's like, please leave a message, or the people that go, hi.
Master Skywalker, what are we to do? Loki disconnected.
No, I'm here. What are you talking about? I hate it when I call somebody, right, and then it rings, and then their voicemail picks up, and they're like, hello, how are you doing? And then you start talking to them, and they're like, haha, joked you. So, no, everything looks. Rex is still number 3? That's not bad. I thought he dropped off the face of the earth, but no, he's still there.
He's still viable.
Especially He semi-dropped off the face of the earth because he's number 3, but only like 9% now.
Yeah,
like he's not nearly as dominant as before.
But Luke Skywalker and General Kenobi make up damn near 80% still of the teams that are there. I mean, it's either General Kenobi, Zeta Barris and the team, or Luke Skywalker in some aspect of a team.
Well, be prepared to fight these teams. I mean, look at this meta report, right? So, again, look at these teams. These are the teams we're going to fight in territory wars. That's it.
Pretty much. That's
so
the thing about
just
territory
be
wars.
prepared for it.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
That'd be a fun little project, right, Finn and Ranger? Is let's make a list of all the teams that can easily beat CLS meta teams. Here you go. Your territory war offense guide to beating CLS lead. So.
Well, I don't know. Finn would use his Ewok team and get slaughtered. I don't know how reliable that would be for.
Hey, the Ewoks are good against Night Sisters, man. That's all I gotta say.
I bet they are not.
I bet they are. Don't knock them till you try them.
They actually are pretty decent against Night Sisters, but
they're very good against Night Sisters,
and they suck against everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're going to use Ewoks on offense, so you're good.
I mean, I think I've got all but. I mean, low grade is going to be done soon for me, but I'm not going to have a Wicked anytime soon. So, I mean, it's like, God. Anything on the ye old meta report or Zeta report? I mean, I'll go to the Zeta report. I mean, just to pull it up, but I'm not seeing anything. There's no change in the Zeta report. The meta report's what it is. Anything else that tickles your pickle when looking at it?
Is Finn higher than he was last week?
And what, the meta or Zeta?
Zeta.
I don't know if he is. He's climbed up. He's right behind Qui-Gon, but he's still 5,000 behind. So people are using. I mean, Zen Fade and R2 are still climbing. Darth Vader's still number one, but it's going to be a while before R2 takes number one because so many people did Zeta Vader for Rancor and stuff back in the day. Luke is about to pass Darth Maul, but we kind of saw that coming. Qui-Gon Jinn's pretty stagnant. I think Finn will take over Qui-Gon and he'll be moving up closer to Maul. But that's pretty much all I can see with the Zeta meta report.
Yeah, because I'm suspecting Finn is going to have a major rise here soon, especially with Territory Wars giving a bonus to First Order and Resistance. Like, he's going to be insane.
Okay. That being said, I think we've covered this enough. What is next, Finnadoodle?
So, I posted a new thing for you, Ranger. It just got, yeah, it's in the Skype chat, so it's a new link for you. It just got posted.
Let me just grab that, douche.
Well, while you do that, we have another discussion topic, so.
I pulled it up.
Oh, okay.
It's showing.
Well, so this is, I believe, okay, you can go ahead and read it, and then we'll go through everything.
Okay. This is from CG Kazaspin. This is today at 8:44 p.m. Hi, Holotable Heroes. We wanted to give you a brief update to provide clarity in the community today around Platoon Squad's deployments. Platoon Squad compositions are working as intended. However, that does meant. Cozy, what are you doing? That's not even proper English. I think she means that does mean that we don't have plans for improvement. Does meant. Who did Grandy write this and just post it as Cozy?
I think it doesn't mean.
That's what I figured, but it says does meant. I was like,
yeah, no, I think it meant. I think
yes, that's wrong. Delicious. That we don't have plans for improvement. Players should be aware that with the release of Territory War feature, we will be actively curating platoon compositions in the first 3 vertical slices of territory battles. This is with the intention to provide a more deliberate experience of platoons for the players. Curated platoons will have static compositions that will persist from territory battle to territory battle. Our intention is to post the static compositions to the forums when we are ready to provide them to the player base so that players can prepare for the platoons with some notice. Exact details to come. Our intent is to keep these static compositions in rotation for the foreseeable future, and any change to these static compositions will be announced to the player base beforehand. This is to ensure that players are prepared for the platoons and can adjust their collections accordingly. We will continue the practice of excluding factions characters from platoons where those faction characters are required somewhere else in the same vertical slice. The last 3 vertical slices will pull from all available units in the game, with the caveat that any previously excluded units will continue to be excluded. What?
So what I am getting from that, and it is a little complicated, but what I'm getting from that is the first 3 phases are going to have set platoons from territory battle to territory battle. So whatever your platoons are in phase 1 are going to remain your platoons in phase 1. Whatever you get in platoon 2 is going to remain in platoon 2, and then whatever you get in phase 3 is going to remain your platoon in phase 3. So it looks like your first 3 are going to be static now. They're not going to be changing. You're not going to have to figure out how many bigs and wedge and those kind of things you're going to need every single time. It's going to be pretty much static for the entire time period.
That being said, that still does not address the elephant in the room on tunes and characters that people have to pay a buttload of money for. That's great. They're static. I like that they're doing this. However, they still not address the elephant in the room, which is if I don't have the new Kylo Ren and he's part of the last 3 battles of phase 4, 5, and 6, well, then most guilds are hosed with the rotation of how they're doing it. I don't know how they're doing it, but I mean, shouldn't that be addressed first before we make things static? Just thinking there outside the box a little bit. What do you guys think?
So there was a post. There have been several posts actually with regard to the fact that TIE Silencer and First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter showed up in squadrons.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean, I think most of the players thought it, but nobody was really sure. They posted it in the forums. I haven't seen an update from Cozy since this afternoon, where she basically wrote, it's basically been reported and they're investigating it. They're not sure if it's working as intended or not. So I guess we'll see. But so far, it is unclear whether or not that is the expected model. We haven't had. I mean, we haven't. Well, I'm trying to think if they're actually going to keep on adding new characters as they come in, because one of the bigger issues that we may have is if, and I doubt this is going to happen because they've excluded kind of the rare characters. But can you imagine if Jedi Rey shows up in Platoon?
Oh, jeez, no.
I'm just going to throw that out there. Just leave it on the ground for people to get angry about. Because we have no idea.
I mean, if you put characters behind a paywall, and then you put them in a scenario where they need to be. I mean, you're forcing people to make a choice of not buying or buying, and then you're taking away the fun of playing the territory battles. I don't think any character that has not gone to any part where it can be farmed should be a part of the territory battles. I'm sorry. It should not be a part of the territory battles. CG, you're messing that up. It's got to be fixed. You cannot put characters that are behind a paywall where only whales can get the experience of having them in there, where you're basically putting other lower end guilds, which represent the majority of the player base, where they can't even have a sniff of getting something accomplished, and that has a big impact on territory battles. I'm sorry, you can't do it. You know, so ugh.
I think they need to put more light side characters in the platoon. I mean, period, because I haven't seen, like, you know, they like to give us the whole Phoenix, you know, on like the bottom line of one of the platoons, or they like to give us the whole Rogue One team at the bottom. I'd love them to give us a whole Jawa team because we all got Jawas laying around, right? I haven't seen that yet.
And even Resistance is scarce.
I'm sorry?
Even Resistance is scarce. Because we have to, we're the RSG Guild is at a position where we have to kind of manage our platoons. We obviously don't have everything. Most of us are free to play or just like mini whales, and so we have to basically track our platoons. So we have like a spreadsheet where we figure out all the characters that we need and if we have enough of certain characters and whatnot. It's pretty much like 80% rebel, and usually it's like Biggs, Wedge, Cherub Days. They throw in some of the like other Rogue One characters, but otherwise it's like a large amount of Phoenix. Like it clumps up a lot in terms of what characters you need in the different phases. Like when you're using Rogue One and in one of the special missions somewhere there, it's like loaded up on Phoenix. And when you have the Phoenix one, it's like loaded up on Rogue One. It's crazy the amount of rebels that you need and the lack of use of like Jedi, clones, resistance, Jawas. Look at every other type of light side doesn't get utilized nearly as much as the rebels and Platoon. It might be intentional because it's a Hoth battle, but it's still inconvenient for players.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, same thing. Throw the Ewoks in there while you're at it, right? I mean, throw the original 5. I mean, we all got them now, right? Like the original 5. So I would totally be for that. And I haven't seen that rotation, man. I mean, I'm sitting on Wicket. I would love to donate my Wicket. I don't use him, but he's not there.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah, I mean, throw more East Koth in there while they're at it, right? You won't hear any complaints.
Mace Windu.
Throw some Kit Fisto in there. I don't know.
What to do? Oh, God. All right. So we covered that. That was fantastic. What's next on the agenda, Finadoodle?
I think that pretty much covers it.
All right. So I think it's time to get into the Twitter question and then Q&A from the questions from the fans, and we'll get into that. Hey, make sure you guys give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe, donate, do all that fun stuff. I haven't seen a lot of the thing pop up, so I think we've got our loyal following as we normally do. About 150 people, which is really nice. But yeah, give us a thumbs up. Do all that stuff. We got to come up with one for thumbs up. I don't know. We got to think about that, Finn.
Well, it's
not possible.
Yeah, I don't think that option is available. I have to look. I don't think that option is.
That's all right. If we can't do it, we can't do it. All right. What's next, Finn?
I'm opening up the Twitter on my phone so I can see the responses.
For those that don't know, Finn didn't pay his AT&T bill, and this is what happens. But he didn't steal government Wi-Fi like Rondé, so that he's got that going for him.
All right. So, all right, are we ready for responses now to the Twitter question?
Yes. What do we got? Well, let's hear. What was your response, Finn? We'll read the question again, and then let's do that so people know.
Okay. So the question was, when I saw TIE Silencer in Squadron, I blank, and this just goes to what we were just discussing here on the screen. So it's a nice little segue. For me, I needed adult Dakaroos because I almost tapped myself.
Yeah.
So that's my response. What about you, Ranger?
I did the pee of the pants, but I had my adult Ranger J1999 diaperoos on, so I was good to go. I didn't have to move or anything.
And Loki?
I was going to say the same thing, man.
Loki got that not so fresh feeling.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I crap my pants too, man. It's just horrible that they would do that, or somebody overlooked it, right? So, shame on CG for that.
All right, so from keyboard.
Oh, we're getting the questions now. Okay.
Yeah,
oh, there's still the question. Okay.
No, the Twitter responses. Yeah.
Okay.
So keyboard was when I saw TIE Silencer in Squadron, I decided to ask for it for Christmas. It's right around the corner.
Hey.
Good old Maurice, when he saw TIE Silencer, I wasn't tempted whatsoever to buy it from the shop. It was not an incentive apparently for good old Maurice. Let's see. We have Sith Lord, who said when he saw TIE Silencer, it made his dick hurt. And he quoted you, Ranger.
Thank you, you're a good man. They say, what is it, copying the best form of flattery, or whatever that is? I don't know.
The next one is from Mike Joe. And he wrote, when he saw TIE Silencer in Squadron, he understood how Capital Grande got his jail money.
That makes sense.
We all love our CG Grande and how he gets his jail money.
Yeah, no.
Let's see. The late pick wrote, when he saw it, he ran to Reddit with his marshmallows because he knew there would be a fire. Then Grim wrote, when I saw TIE Silencer in Squadrons, I thought Capital Games should change their name to Capital Greed.
Oh, man.
And lastly, from Fatality V2, when I saw TIE Silencer in Squadrons, I knew then I needed a loan from Wells Fargo.
That's right. If you need a loan from Wells Fargo, you know what to do. I think they have like 9,000 interest rate and no APR. 0 APR, right?
Yep. No, 1%. 1%
APR, okay.
All right. By the way, there is another good one, by the way. It's by Sigma Alliance, but you have to go onto our Twitter and see the response because it's a link to a picture. So if you guys are interested, head on to our Twitter and go see the response by Sigma Alliance. They posted their response, and it's a link to a Google image.
Very nice. All right, should we get into some question, fellers?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. Loki, are you ready?
I'm ready, man. Ready like a Freddy.
Well, you're the one supposed to be collecting the questions, right?
Yeah, they're all in the stream questions.
I'm just making sure because, you know.
It's like a bazillion questions, man.
A plethora. Would you say we have a plethora of questions,
so
Loki?
A cornucopia of questions.
A Google, a gaggle, a collection.
A gazebo.
Oh, look at Finn. That education's paying off. All right, Mr. Locomotive, what is the first question from thy fans?
So first question's from Bradzo. What do you think happened to CG and EA's deal with Apple? iOS users also got 80 shards of Kylo Ren. I almost cried. I think they took care of us, man. That's all I can say from a fellow iOS user. So it's about time.
It had nothing to do with Apple.
No, they just did it.
It was basically EA saying, let's promote our one game using our other game as a medium. They basically bypassed Google and iOS and just said, we'll just do it on our own, and physically sent it to us. I'm fine with it. It's free shards. But I don't think iOS did anything. Apple isn't as friendly.
KP67's question: with respect to territory wars, do you see this as being a time-intensive mode similar to territory battle, or do you think it'll be more manageable?
I don't know yet. I mean, it's going to take a lot of coordination in the beginning, so I don't know yet. I mean, it's going to be time intensive. From my perspective, I think it's going to be very time intensive, like territory battles. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I mean, that's something we brought up when we were talking about, is that we think the time sink is like, good Lord in heaven. Any thoughts?
I think the time sink isn't too bad. It's actually, I think it's preparing for the first one, right? So do we want to actually go to our guild and say, guys, we got to remod all of our guys?
That's right. Say, we're gonna mod.
You know what I mean? So I think there's going to be a lot of setup. I think once you get it up and running, then at that point, do you want to game it? And if you look at the guild, I think we can see who we're going up against, right? But then at that time, it's too late to swap mods. There have been a couple of comments in the chat that once you lock the guys, once you lock your tunes, you can't move mods anymore.
No.
After you deployed them, right, for defense. So let's say you threw your clone team in for defense and you want to pull a mod off. That tune, I think, is disqualified. We can play around with it more in the beta, but I think that's what's going on. So, you know, are we going to take that time before Territory War starts and actually help each other remod everybody's tunes, you know? So that's something to think about. But hopefully when we're in Territory Wars, then it'll be easy. And I say that loosely, but, you know, hopefully that works.
Hey, we got $2 from good old Maurice.
Thank you, good old Maurice. I can't wait for your stream tomorrow, man. It should be fun, too.
Yeah, we'll be there to support you. It says, good discussion tonight, guys. Thanks. You're welcome. And then we had the little thing pop up. I love that.
Yeah.
It's working! It's working!
Time-sync-wise, here's what worries me the most about Territory Wars. Think about what we're doing in territory battles right now. And we have like the 3 nodes, right, that we're fighting that are just like repetitive waves of stormtroopers. It gets tedious, but it's the same thing. Remember that if you have like a full guild, you're fighting 250 squads on defense potentially. So that means everyone has to fight potentially like 5 arena squads. That's a lot of time potentially in a day if people are putting strong squads on defense. You need a lot more thought, even on. I agree with you, Loki, that at the beginning, especially, I think there's going to be a lot of time that needs to be figured out on the strategy of defense versus offense if they continue this path in terms of who's putting what where and why the particular squads, and then as people's rosters evolve, how do you manage that in order to optimize? That's definitely going to become a major preparation time thing. But even gameplay-wise, fighting 5 arena teams potentially in like one day, not to mention the fact that you're already doing it for your arena itself. So in a day, you're fighting, 10 to 15 if you're doing an arena refresh, arena level squads in a day. That's going to take a toll. So I am afraid of the time sink that Territory Wars is going to involve, depending on what you're putting on defense and what you're facing. If Cozy's recommendation is putting CLS on defense, hell yeah, you're going to be basically facing arena CLS teams over and over again. And that's not pleasant.
Yeah. It's gonna open up another bigger discussion, you know, how do we even optimize teams for this thing? The thing we noticed, right, is everything's blind right now. So everybody's setting up their defenses, but we don't know what they're putting in on that other side. So ideally, maybe you want the other team to go in with their A teams to beat up your D teams, right, to kind of waste away their A team. So when they get to the back of the territory, then you have all of your strong teams there, right, on defense. And then hopefully they're bringing in their C team or D team, right? So, I mean, again, I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
Hey, we got a sponsor. Red Tiger Pearl just sponsored us. And then we got $2 from Shane Locomotive says, I love the pop-up. Hey, he got his tag too. Thanks, Red Tiger Pearl. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Go ahead and continue there. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just
no
excited
worries.
to see the BB-8 pop up.
Yeah, I saw that. Finally saw it. No, I was just saying that the fun part of it is the mystery, but then at the same time, how do you even prepare for it? So, again, maybe it's not going to be as time-consuming as territory battles because it's kind of like you set your defense and you forget about it, and then you just go in with your best A teams, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
The other thing is continued progress as well. We'll see that tomorrow. But let's suppose you're fighting a CLS team and you go in with one squad and you kill like the R2 on the opposing team. Does the R2 stay dead for the next person's attempt against that squad, or do they get back to like full? Like if you don't finish off the squad, because that's killer.
I would assume you're chipping away at the 25, right? So let's just say there's 25 teams in that territory. You know, and maybe you can go in with your resistance team and take out 3 teams, right? And then they finally die at the 4th team, and then. I don't know, but that's a good point.
I'm going to double check that right now. I believe in Cozy's post, she wrote that it's only one squad that you face per team.
Okay.
So your resistance would only be facing one particular team, but if somebody else went in there and attacked the team and took out like one character, I'm wondering if that character remains dead for the person's next attempt, because that could be... Because then you could kind of work together and throw in like little squads and try to bring down.
And then it becomes GW.
It does, but it's like a guild GW. So territory score.
All right, next question, Mr. Locomotive. Loki.
Did we lose Loki?
Did we lose Locum?
Sorry about that. I had to disconnect real quick. Sorry about that. So question 3 is keyboard. What are you enjoying most about this beta?
I think we kind of covered that with the good, bad, and the ugly, right?
Well, the one thing I'm enjoying about the beta is trying to plan on how to break territory wars. Because in the beta test, you're trying to test out all of the different features and make sure everything's working and everything. So at least for the initial like preview phase and stuff, I'm having fun trying to figure out how we can potentially break it. So and testing out all the features. So it's just fun as a beta tester doing that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to say Arena, I think, is the most fun right now. Skirmish, Arena. Yeah. Great way to test your mods. Great way to test different teams against the top teams in Arena. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm telling my other guild mates, hey, if you got time, play around with it and throw different teams in so you know where you're standing. Because those are going to be the same teams you're fighting against.
Quick update on the last thing we were talking about, Loki. So in reading Cozy Spoon's post from last week, it does work like Galactic War. The defensive squads have persistent health exactly like Galactic War, so players need to work together to defeat the opponent. And unlike Galactic War, to prevent any one medic squad from dominating the map, attacking squads that successfully defeat an opponent are not available for future attacks.
Cool. So sounds good.
One attack per squad, essentially.
It doesn't say if we can pick the opponent, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't give us a list of 25 teams and we're like, oh, I'm going to take that one.
No, I do not see that listed right now.
That'd be kind of cool, actually. But I get it. If it's Galactic War, then it's all RNG, so that's fine. Next question, Artorias Draknight. Is anyone going to see Justice League just to see it? If it's going to be bad as Batman versus Superman?
No, from the reviews I've seen, it's actually a really good movie. I plan on watching it. I don't know about you guys, but scrounge up some cashola and go watch it, because from what I've heard and from people I trust, it's pretty good. It's not a perfect movie, but most movies aren't. But it's really fun. They did a really good job with it. So yeah, I would recommend. From what I've heard and seen, I would definitely recommend Justice League.
I see every superhero movie. I don't really care. So
I'm kind of the same way.
Even Daredevil, I saw it.
I watched it too. Don't get me wrong. I didn't think it was that bad of a movie. I didn't think it was great, but I don't think it was that bad. I mean, people really crap on Daredevil, the original with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. I mean,
yeah,
there were some good things in there. There were some things I was like, really?
And I can't see the chat right now. I'm going to assume Bimasu is making some kind of comments. I'll shout out right now. I'm also going to go see it for Gal Gadot.
I mean, Fatality VT just said that Gal Gadot, she's so hot.
Gal Gadot
is, she's yummy.
She makes a really good Wonder Woman.
I know. I remember when she first was cast, they're like, and I'm like, well, just give her a chance. And man, if you've not seen Wonder Woman, you need to see that movie. She is amazing in that movie. That's one of the best movies of the year, Wonder Woman. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I've seen it, and I just adore that movie. God, it was so good. And I think she's like,
except for Deadpool, I think that's the greatest superhero movie right now.
There's a toss up for a couple ones. I still think The Dark Knight ranks up there. That one's up there as well. God, she's so good. And from what I'm gathering from the things I've seen, she's really, again, amazing in Justice League, and she's one of the highlights of it. So there you go. We answered a superhero questions in a Star Wars channel, but you know what? That's what we do here.
Yeah, definitely. I like Thor myself, man. If you saw the latest Thor.
Thor Ragnarok was so good, man.
That was so good.
God, it was
ridiculous.
Good.
That was ridiculous. Next question is from Bendu. Anyone think that the members of Inferno Squad might be Rey's parents?
No.
Doesn't fit the timeline, right?
No. Battle of Jakku, everything else, no. So
No.
I like the idea, but no.
Keyboard. What do you think that the 3 main territory war teams will be? So I guess top 3 for offense, top 3 for defense.
It's going to be arena PvP. I mean, I don't know what more to tell you. I mean, it's going to be. I mean, I think a lot of defensive teams are going to be General Kenobi, Barris, just to be a pain in the ass with some form of squad like that. I think offensively it'll be Luke in that kind of team, or combination thereof. I mean, the third team I could see somebody running some kind of high routine with like Mother Talzin, just because she can really kick some ass on a lot of teams. What do you guys think?
On defense, I'm going to say a Night Sister team with Zombie, Acolyte, Talzin kind of as the core, and Daka and probably Asajj Ventress as the 5. I would say that's going to be one of the defensive teams. The other defensive teams is probably going to be a CLS Rebel team. So something like a CLS, R2, OG Han, Fulcrum Ahsoka, and Old Ben. I'm going to guess is going to be the defensive CLS team. Offensively, I'm seeing Kenobi lead with Varys, Nihilus, Thrawn, and then some other character as your 5th, being one offensive team, and then also Phoenix Squad being another offensive team. I can't really think of a third that would really fit that. And the reason I was saying Night Sisters on defense, by the way, as we were talking before, is the AI is going to be a component to this. So you need really simple AI squads on defense that really don't have to think much. And CLS is basically just going to give counterattack to Rebels. So that's going to be awesome. And then Talzin is just throwing around Plague everywhere, so you don't really have to think about that either. So I think those are going to be 2 dominant defensive and offensive squads, just from initial looks.
There we go. Next question, Loki.
Next question. Fatality V2. Do you think CG will reward the guys testing the beta? Are we going to get something in our inboxes?
Nope.
Are we going to get 20,000 crystals for beta testing Captain Han Solo?
You'll get 400 potions.
Loki will.
Yeah, Loki will. You get 20,000 potions.
Thank you, Loki, for beta testing and working with everybody else.
We love you so much.
Everybody else gets an inbox email. Your 50 crystals were donated to Loki for beta testing.
Don't make Loki. Don't make Loki angry. You wouldn't like it if he was angry.
Okay, so Ann Brew asks a similar question to Keyboard. Good defensive team in Territory Wars around the corn. So real quick.
Well, I mean, I think the CG Barris, Zeta Barris team will be the top team you'll see, with maybe like a Nihilus or something to really make you squeamish. I mean, that's the team I think of on defense.
I'm going to say the CLS team that I mentioned is probably going to be the top defensive team. So CLS, R2, OG Han, Fulcrum Ahsoka, and Old Ben.
Oh, that sounds good, actually. So I'm going to say, GK Zaris, I think. Who you want to throw in there?
Nihilus,
depends if there's
Ahsoka.
A timer. If there's a timer, I might want to just mess with people and do, General Kenobi lead with Zeta Barris and Old Ben and Fives and Stormtrooper Han or something like that, right? I mean, just make let him sit there for a while.
Team, so have fun killing this.
So let's think about this for a minute, right? Because let's assume everybody throws their CLS in their defense team, right? So that doesn't leave them with much. You can only use your Nihilus once, and can you imagine coming up to this brick wall team like that? And you're going in there with like a B team or a C team on offense. You'll either time out or you'll keep playing until the game crashes or something, right? So, and there's going to be a lot of teams like that. So don't think it's entirely out of the question. But there's going to be people trying to game it like that. You're going to build a brick wall team that heals. Again, you're only going to have one Nihilus. I'm actually going to go back to Keyboard's question real quick. I really think on offense, plan on probably exploiting Boba Fett if you got him Zeta'd. because he can go through the taunts and he can do his annihilate or execute or whatever you want to call it.
With like a Commander Luke. I mean, you could have 2 guys going through taunts.
You can spam Commander Luke and go through taunts. And then who else? Zeta Kylo would probably be really good.
Kylo Ren.
Because on offense you're going to be controlling it, so you can spam all the abilities you want. I don't think an Empire team is going to be that great on defense with a Grand Admiral Thrawn lead, but I think he's going to be killer on offense. Where you can control him and they're not going to be cleansing and all that stuff. So something to keep in mind that you might want to consider doing your Zeta Kylo again on offense because you can spam his lash out, right? Or outrage or whatever it is. So
you could do that super tanky team like you were mentioning, Ranger, with Empire, with like a Thrawn lead,
of course,
Stormtrooper, Death Trooper, Krennic, and like a First Order Stormtrooper. Like that is a ridiculously tanky team, and if you're not using your Nihilus on that team, like then you might face your other team with Kenobi and Stormtrooper Han and Zaret. Like that could be pretty nasty too.
Grim asks a similar question as well. I mean, everybody's going to be asking these questions, so it's actually this is actually a fun
We've already
Q&A.
answered it. Let's move on to some other questions. I mean, we keep it.
Well, no. I mean, he brings up a point. So Resistance will probably be best for defense in territory wars. First Order seems to be the best for offense. What's your thoughts?
No. First Order is awful. Sorry, but it is. Sorry. I could see
Resistance. So do you think the buffs are enough?
No.
I mean, they're obviously going to get an event buff, but...
No. I just don't... First Order, don't even bother. I'm sorry. First Order, it's too slow. I don't care how you mod it. It just does not do enough damage. It's not a good team. Resistance on offense, not defense, but offense, I could see being really, really viable. Because of the... depending on who you're facing, but if you've got really good mods and speed... on your main characters and you can get that team going. Once you get that team going, you will win. Especially if you're not facing A teams, you're facing some B teams, you'll wreck that. You'll wreck anybody you face unless it's like a high level and meta team. I mean, Resistance is really good.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the playbook, guys. Like, I mean, if you know the other guild and where they're going to throw their A teams and B teams and C teams, you're pretty much golden. So you got to get like a spy in their guild and figure out where they're throwing everything. But I agree. I think Resistance is going to be really good on offense unless you hit a CLS Rebel team, which they'll pretty much take out your Poe in like 2 shots. So First Order, I don't know. It's hard to tell even without a vet buff. I guess if you wailed out on
even if
Kylo
you wailed
and
out,
Mask,
even if you wailed out, it's no. I mean, there's nothing on that team that will win. I mean, even though individual pieces of the First Order are good, the team overall, it just does not hold up. I mean, this has been tested, and it just cannot handle what the other teams do, especially with the lack of speed. That's what kills that team because it's got to get. It's unlike Resistance in the sense that once it gets going, it's good, but it's so slow, even with great mods, that it just can't get going, and you get annihilated before any of your big pieces can get going again. I mean, it's just an unfortunate fact of that team.
But you're also thinking about it in terms of arena, right? That First Order could be like a really nasty B team for
not even a B team. First Order is like on the bottom of the teams that you could probably run, and it's unfortunate because it just does not have the damage or the speed to compete with other teams that are out there. With
I don't know, with Unmasked Kylo, I think there's some potential with it. With like a Phasma lead, if your First Order TIE fighter starts going, or TIE pilot starts pretty much going off the wall, like he can start double tapping everyone. Both Kylos are actually pretty decent. It's a fairly tanky team. It can do. I'm not going to say it's necessarily going to win, but it can also take down whatever. It can be a nuisance if you're not properly equipped in order to handle it. First Order can also kind of get rolling if Phasma starts calling a lot of assists. There is a lot of assisting going on. But
we're talking about the AI on defense trying to do it. Even on offense, I just don't think it could handle a lot of the teams that are out there. It just doesn't have the healing. It just doesn't have the speed. It just doesn't have the damage to really be effective. That's just my opinion. But we'll see. I mean, that's just my opinion based off what I know. but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's correct.
So moving along to the next question, Furious Sigma asks, what other factions do you think are going to get event buffs like the First Order and the Resistance in Guild versus Guild?
No idea. I couldn't even begin to speculate. It could be anything. I mean, you can just throw.
So the map itself, is that Jakku? Is that the Jakku map?
I think so.
You know, where it's got the busted Star Destroyer where Rey was flying in it, and where they got the Millennium Falcon from our good buddy, the Junk Collector, and they were getting chased by the First Order TIE pilots. I think that's the map.
Yeah, that's the map.
Yeah. I mean, who knows on the buffs? I mean, I guess it's open to anybody.
I mean, even with the buffs, I mean, it better be a hell of a buff, but I just don't.
Yep. Addix Mathma asks, do you expect a droid rework before Dark Side Territory Battles is launched? If yes, is it worth gearing up to Gear 12 my HK and IG twins in the meantime?
That's a good question. I do not believe, even if they get a rework, that it'll be viable. Droids are just not good. I mean, they've got to rework a lot of things on droids to make them viable. They don't have a healer, as previously mentioned. Even with Grievous, who's awful, the droids, even with B2, HK-47, a Grievous, say you throw in, I'm just throwing two out there, an IG-88 and IG-86, which is really not viable because you really need a Jawa engineer to make that team rock and roll, but you won't be able to use it unless they change the status of Jawas to evil. But they're not really evil, so that doesn't really work. That team just doesn't do enough. It's kind of like First Order. It's like it has its uses here and there, and there's parts that can be really good. B2s are excellent, actually a pretty good character to have, but it just doesn't do enough. I mean, it's sad to say, but that's just the case. I mean, do you guys disagree or agree?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, Finn's being all quiet. You're supposed to be a social butterfly, Finn. You suck, Finn.
No, I have to get to the mute button on my phone. I'm not used to doing it on my phone.
Just leave your phone off mute. Good Lord.
No, then you hear me doing things.
Like you mean GW, Mr. Smithy D of the US version?
So I think the one thing they have to do, though, in order to make it viable for Darkseid is alluding to that image that we all saw. They need Jawa engineer on Darkseid.
I think we need to add all the evil characters from Naruto in the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and I think they'll be viable. What do you guys think?
That's a whole different faction of awesome.
As a dark side faction?
Yeah, we add a little Madara Uchiha.
Yeah,
I'd be fun with that. Just put the entire Akatsuki in there. That'd be an awesome faction.
Yeah, I mean, you will kick some major ass. It's like little Rasengan, a little Sharingan. I joke. I just love Naruto.
Yeah, but I think if Jawa engineer was Darkseid, then maybe droids could be viable, but other than that, no.
All right, next question, Mr. Locomotive.
Brad Steele, question for BB-8 unlock. Could I use Kylo unmasked instead of First Order Stormtrooper to unlock BB-8?
Yeah.
I guess you could, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you want to farm First Order Stormtrooper. He's a really good tune. But
you have a 7-star unmasked Kylo?
I mean, that's pretty badass, actually.
I mean, as long as that's usually the sticking point for people is that they don't have a 7-star Kylo for BB-8. So if you're at the point where you have a 7-star Kylo, then your other character probably wailed out enough that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you win. Nathaniel says Itachi would solo the entire territory battles. Yes, he would. Little Amarutsu and like.
Fatality V2 asks, do you think Make Mine a Double could mean both the Rey and CLS event running simultaneously?
No. I think it's going to be... My leaning is double drops or some kind of character reward, something along those lines. I don't think it's going to be anything along those lines. What do you guys think?
November 24 is their 2-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going with double drop.
I think so. I think we'll get a reward. Make mine a double has such an ambiguous meaning.
Well,
it's hard to
say.
say.
There is another thing too. If you look at the events calendar, they kind of skip next week from having a territory battle.
Yeah.
And so some people think it's because of Well, that's what some people think, that it's because of Thanksgiving.
Oh.
EA is actually it is an international game, so it's not like it's affecting everyone. It does affect CG because they are in the US, but
yeah, they won't be around.
It's possible that it's because they are planning like double drop weeks, where I think this is what they did before, where every day is like a different double drop.
Mm-hmm.
Light side, dark side, Cantina, then it became Galactic War, and then it was like a mixed day. So it's possible that that's what they're planning during that week. And so that is why you don't see a territory battle. And so that's kind of what I'm suspecting as make mine a double. The other possibility is that since Dark Revan has 2 lightsabers, it could be his release.
Oh my God, I would just cream my jeans. Jesus, if they did that, I would never. I would lie. I'd say I still crush CG when they mess up, but I would be their buddy for a long time. God. But I digress because I don't think that's going to happen.
Red Tiger Pearl, question: will the price point ever return to somewhat of a sane level, or is EA grabbing what they can grab and pulling the plug soon?
I don't think so for this game. They're still trying to. I still think they're trying different things for that, where they're trying to find that balance of where they can keep the whales happy and people spending money, because it is a business. They have to make money. They have to make profits, right? To keep the game viable, to pay the salaries, to keep the game going. What EA did with their loot crate boxes and stuff, I mean, you would have thought that EA would have learned from the first Battlefront not to pull this garbage, but they did. CG's a little bit more clever about it, and they you can see them trying to mess around with things to see what is the best way to do it. Sometimes they mess up, sometimes they get it right. I mean, the Kylo Ren pack that they offered for $19.99 and stuff, god damn, that was a good deal. Props to you, CG.
That was a great deal.
Great deal. Actually, I'm going to buy it just tonight.
For the Omegas.
I mean, just because we were guessing like 60,
just for the Omegas.
80, $100 for that. And then when you looked at all that you got, you were like, damn, that's really, really good. And you should buy that. I mean, there's been certain packs like the Boba Fett pack and stuff like that I've said, you should get that. It's really good. This is an exceptionally good deal. 25 character sharks of Special Forces TIE Pilot and the ships and Kylo and yada, yada, yada. Damn, that is a hell of a good deal. They're listening, guys. So, I mean, that is a hell of a good deal. Now, I don't think we've always said the crystal deal is like, really? But that being said,
I think the crystal packs have gotten worse. But I agree with you that the for cash,
the actual,
if you're just gonna do it.
Yes, I mean that is well worth you putting a little bit of an investment in it. Even if you're a small whale, that pack is worth it. The gear, the Omegas, as Loki mentioned, everything, that's pretty damn good. I was pleasantly surprised to see we were way wrong on the price of that. I mean, they're still messing around with stuff, so sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong. With that one, definitely. Good Lord.
Next question, Fatality V2 again. Does anyone know where I can get a new phone screen? Finity said we have to break the beta, so I smashed my phone with a mallet, and now it's cracked. It's all your fault, Finity.
You have to get a new phone, sir. Sorry.
I love the initiative.
Don't encourage people to break their phone. What's wrong with you, Finn?
I didn't say to break your phone. I said break the beta.
Oh, well, that's different.
He took it to mean break the beta on his phone, but I never said anything about doing it on your phone. I said break the beta.
Corey Delmeyer.
It's Moxie.
Sorry. Corey Delmeyer asks, will Resistance be needed in any events anytime in the foreseeable future?
Yes.
I'm preparing them now.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. You're going to need Resistance. We know BB-8, Finn, Han, veteran Viagra Han, Viagra Chewie, sorry, and Rey are going to be needed probably for the Rey event. That's our thinking from what we don't have any inside information, but we're pretty damn good about guessing who you're going to need. That's why I've been kind of farming Han, and you're going to see them announce here soon that we're going to need a veteran Han, or they're going to be putting veteran Han and veteran Chewie somewhere so people can farm it like mad. I've been farming Viagra Han and Viagra Chewie just to get them up. So yeah, you're gonna need them. And
wouldn't it be killer? Okay, let's. I'm gonna think about that. You know,
Kylo Ren.
It came. Veteran Han and veteran Chewie in one hard node, so you got 2 for 1, right? The double. Give me a double. Because you can do that with Krennic and the Geonosian ship, right? You got 2 character
really
shards.
Smart, Loki. I like that. Look at you.
How about if they did that?
Look at the big brain on Loki.
I don't want him in a hard node.
You shut your pie hole.
Put him in a cantina node. Make
Okay,
it
I
double
like that
cantina.
more. Put him in a cantina, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not
put him in a
unheard of where they're
cantina.
putting 2 shards now, right?
Jesus. And then you have a double
they're
drop
usually
on it.
mixing.
Oh God, CG, you would like get.
Krennic is a little bit of an oddity.
Krennic is.
Krennic is an oddity because he's teamed up with Geonosian, but most of the other ones have basically the pilot and the ship as their doubles. Right, most of them are doubled up with a ship, and it's the pilot on the other one. Krennic was like the first, and he seems like the anomaly of the group, and I'm getting a suspicion that maybe they're going to update that later. But yeah, I mean, it would be interesting. I hope that it's not a hard node. That's all I can say.
That's what I say.
Yeah, me too.
And with regard to the resistance too, just thinking about it here, we need a first order to get BB-8, right? What if you need resistance in order to get BB-9 with the new movie?
What?
What?
BB-9.
What if you could get BB-9 with resistance? Keep in mind, veteran Han and veteran Chewie are not going to be. They're not resistance factions. Mm-hmm. So you would actually need 5 resistance factions. So even though you're working on BB-8 and Finn and Rey for Jedi Rey, right. You still need 2 other resistance. So it's not like there's a direct overlap, like 100% overlap. Mm-hmm. You'll still need a few other resistance characters. So maybe they're having a BB-9 event where you need resistance and you need first order for BB-8. Just throwing that out there.
You just like cute and cuddly things. I hate you.
BB-9 is not cute and cuddly. He's evil and cuddly.
Not to you.
What if you needed veteran smuggler Chewie to unlock Porg?
Oh, Finn.
There would not be money spent. I didn't even spend money on Wicket, so I won't spend it on
I think you're lying, Finn.
I bought 10 packs by saving credits.
Well.
I saved crystals. I didn't buy any packs.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
It was all crystals, and I bought 10 packs of Wicket. I didn't get the 330. It made me sad.
Right.
Bradzo asks a question. Do we already know if there will be a time limit for the fights, or will it be like the territory battle fights?
We don't know yet.
I think we'll know tomorrow, right?
Yep, we'll know tomorrow.
Keyboard asks, will territory wars be fair?
No idea yet.
Nope. We know that cheating is available.
I'd love to give you the answer, but we know about as much as you do, so until we actually get a chance to actually go in there and dick around with it, we just don't know.
Yeah, but we mentioned it earlier, right? We know that there is a possibility of cheating happening. It's not like there's a very little chance. It's just an APK thing, and anyone with knowledge is able to do it. So it depends what you mean by fair. If you're talking about the matchmaking system, we'll have to see. If you're talking about fair in terms of actual battle stuff, the cheating aspect is definitely a concern.
Yeah. Red Tiger Pearl asks, do you think they were able to utilize some of the tournament material to create territory wars?
I don't get that sense. I think it was kind of a concept, but I don't get any kind of sense of that. What do you think, Loki?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I don't even know how the matchmaking worked on the tournaments.
Yeah.
You know, if you were on a tournament shard with some mega whales, then there was no way you were getting to the top, right? But
no.
There were different rewards, if I remember correctly. So there were some shards where the shards of like Shore Trooper would appear like at the top 100, I guess, and then there were other shards that were skewed to like top 50, if I remember correctly. So I'm not sure what determined that, but you know, I guess we'll see how the matchmaking works in Territory Wars, like what Finn says. But I hope they learned a lot of stuff from tournaments and what not to do. So I don't want them to incorporate any of the material that was broken, you know. Dr. Chillin, anyone else agree that if they add Revan, that they should have him both as a Jedi and Sith tag because he was both?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. He should be both. Dark side, light side, Jedi, Sith. He should be the character that you can use in any of your teams. And he, in canon, will allow you to do that. So when he comes out, if he ever does, then that absolutely he has to be that way. You can't make him a Jedi because it's like, what? But you can't just make him a Sith either because he was both. He was master of the light side and the dark side. So, yes.
Doc Arok, he is saying that in Territory Wars right now, he cannot use his 4-star Mother Talzin or 3-star Zombie for defense. Do we think this is working as intended? Is there a star cap or a star requirement on defense?
It is not a star. It is a power requirement.
Right.
And if you look at it, it says that it must be 6,000 power. And I checked it earlier. My Bodhi was under 6,000 power before the player loss. And after it switched to the defense phase, I raised him to above 6,000, and he does not show up. So it looks like it's going to be any character with 6,000 power or more, at least in our battle. When you go to the territories, it tells you kind of in the upper left of the description box what your power minimum is. And whatever characters you have above that power minimum at the time of the lock is what you can put on defense. Now, I don't know about offense. I don't know if you're restricted in offense, if you can use anything on offense, or whether it's still the power restrictions, but on defense, it tells you what the power requirement is.
That's good to know, man. I didn't even know. It might eliminate some of the broken zombie teams, but we don't know yet. Mm-hmm. We'll see. Somebody will get crafty and put it at 6,001 and figure out the formula to do it. David Lee asks, in Territory Wars, so if we commit a team on defense, we can't use it on offense, correct?
That is correct.
So will it be better to save the best teams for offense or best teams for defense?
Offense. That's my understanding.
So, yeah, it's a little of both. You have to figure it out with you want your best ones probably on offense, but the ones that don't require a lot of AI on defense, like we've been kind of mentioning here. So it'll kind of depend on what your best team is also. Like if your best team is a Sith team, you might have issues either way, to be honest.
Yeah.
Doc R. Rock, I think we answered this already. Are Territory War battles timed? If so, for how long? We don't know yet. We're going to know in a few hours, I think, or whenever the battles start. JG Hot One. Ranger, can you do a quick Yoda impression?
Of course I can. Impression I will give you. Found me you have.
Good enough?
It's good enough for me, man. So Mian asks, will there be an update soon past the Platoon news? Not sure what that means, but I guess, are we expecting an update soon? I guess
that was the one that I just posted that we read
yes,
earlier.
Okay.
Probably, I would say yes. I don't know.
It was a 3-phase constant static Platoon sync was the thing that got posted during our stream. I'm assuming that's what was being discussed there. And we did discuss that. So it's
probably just going to be a quick hot fix or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's what I'm thinking.
I'm assuming they're just planning on rolling this out with something coming forward, probably next week with the double drops and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure there's going to be implementation. They snuck in the tools for this territory battle and stuff too, so I guess we'll see.
Right. So
how do you
got
like
a couple...
those tools, by the way? Just on a little sidetrack here. Have you guys been using those tools, like where you can see each individual phase and the combat missions and the special missions and the deployed and stuff. Have you been using those? Because I'm in love with those new tools.
I have not.
Yeah, I haven't seen them. I'm not a officer or a leader.
I am. I just have not had the time.
Okay.
They're pretty fantastic.
Are you talking territory wars? Or are you talking the battles?
Territory
battles?
No, battles.
Oh, territory battles? No, I don't know then.
Yeah, in territory battles now. So if you when you go into the little the screen where you can normally see like your total deployed GP and all that kind of stuff, instead of going to the right, if you start going to the left, they now have by phase like how many different special missions you've attempted, how many combat missions you've attempted, what's your total GP deployed in that particular phase. So you can actually you have to kind of track on your own spreadsheet like who has actually done those things, but you have all the numbers. So once you cross off like the 48 people, you can figure out the 2 that didn't. And it's pretty exact because it tells you who's attempted it. I am in love with the implementation of those tools.
There you go.
So you can actually lock phases and all that now, if you wanted to?
No, I still can't lock or anything. It's just the display. Like they're giving you more information in order to manage, which really makes things easier. So
that's good. I mean, that's kind of headed in the right direction then.
Yeah, definitely is.
So we're coming up to the last couple questions here. Paul Bracamonte asks, have we seen the awards from Territory Wars? I think yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's been there. So it's Zetas, the prize box, and some guild tokens. They've
done work on the prize box too.
Yeah, they're trying to do more.
There's no Mark IV Carbantes. It's Mark III. You even get the Mark III holo projectors. You get the higher level gear. Overall, I didn't go through every single one, but overall, it looks like the gear is pretty nice. They don't have... I think they might have had the Mark VI hyper syringe, which is the one that you get from the challenges. But other than that, and I think a lot of people have extra of those now. But other than that, I didn't really have any complaints. Actually, even with that, I don't have much complaints about the loot box this time compared to Territory Battle. So it looks like they improved it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Matthew Richmond brought up a good point. He's asking us why we honestly think the Kylo Ren pack is good, because it seems bad to him since they decreased the amount of shards that you got from all the events except the Kylo Ren Unmasked event. So did you guys notice if they decreased the shards?
They did.
But
just as a financial investment, right? For when we look at packs, we look at what do you get for the price that you pay. That many shards with that many kind of gear and omegas and things like that, it's pretty damn good. For $19.99, to get basically your Kylo and everything to 4 stars and everything, pretty damn good. I think for Kylo specifically to decrease the rewards because if you remember when we unlocked everything, it was 20 out of 25 for the other 3. And that easily puts them at 4 stars. And, Kylo was a little bit different because of the event and everything. But just for the bang for its buck. I mean, it's the other thing you brought up is a separate issue of like how many shards you get and stuff. But just the pack itself as an investment of $20 is worth the investment if you want to invest it. You may look at it, I mean, that's not saying we're right. You may look at it and say it's a bad investment, but that's okay. We're just saying from our opinion, that pack with what it comes with our experience with other packs that have come out in the game, and we looked at it like, Jesus, that's awful. We've said other packs have been awful. Pretty damn good for what you get. That's all we're saying.
I was sold on the Omegas, man. That was for
That's all you care about.
I hate the Omega Crunch, man.
It's
real.
Awful.
It's worse than the Zeta one for me. But anyway. Okay, so then brings us to the last question. This is from Meon. Will Revan be available in crystal packs, or do you think he's going to be a legendary event, or he's going to be a Luke event? What do you guys think?
I think he's going to be legendary.
Yeah, I don't see him being like a Luke journey because there's no storyline involved with him right now. So,
but it'll be a legendary.
He would have to be legendary.
So, considering the fan base, there's no way they can offer him in a pay to play fashion. It's you got to have certain tunes and then take the event and.
You never know with CG, but I mean, for me, I think it's going to be one that they really invest in. He's such a iconic character with the fan base that.
He's more iconic than Nihilus, right? Nihilus was in a payback,
big time,
but...
yeah. I mean, Nihilus, had a paywall, but I think Revan will not. I think they're going to do something legendary event with him.
Yeah, he's like a Thrawn level, or even like a CLS level, right?
Yes,
he's got to be. So unlock at 7 stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I agree.
That's all the questions, guys.
Wait, legendary would be unlocked at 5 star.
Yeah, I think. But
or what's the CLS? Super duper legendary.
It's like 7 stars or
bust. The whole journey aspect, but Revan doesn't have as much of a storyline right now in terms of current Star Wars atmosphere. Right, like CLS makes sense. It's just Luke. All the movies.
I think it'll be like an Emperor Palpatine or
like a Yoda, Emperor Palpatine.
You need characters, certain characters.
A legendary 5-star unlock.
Yeah. So it's not going to be a hero's journey. It's not going to be
I don't think there's going to be
ultra rare legendary event or something.
No, unless they add some different characters to where you need them to unlock them, and I don't know, but that's kind of my thinking on it.
Yeah, they would have to change their entire focus because right now all that stuff is based around the movies, so they would have to kind of go on a whole different tangent to involve Revan with like a journey type that, which would be kind of cool with all the stuff they could introduce. But you could just use HK-47 and go through the journey. It's just one character journey to find his master.
Right.
HK-47? Oh, that would be awesome.
Meatbag.
So they could do a hero's journey. They just need we just start with HK-47 first, right? To go get him.
Yeah.
So that would be a good possibility too.
I agree. All right, so is that all?
And he better be good too, Yeah, that's our last question, man.
All right, let's end the stream, and we're gonna make the social butterfly Finadoodle do the ending because he needs to practice.
No, and I'm on my phone and everything too. You're making this.
All right, we'll make Loki do it.
I'm kind of like breaking up though, aren't I?
Oh, you guys will come up with any excuse. You guys are just buttholes. Good Lord, I'll do it. see, you just you guys see how it is. What I'm dealing with. All right, so I'll end the stream because Finn is worthless and Loki is even more worthless. You can play your porg all you want, Finn. You're not a good human being. Shut that off. I'm gonna mute you. I'm trying to do the ending, Finn. So this, if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Really? You're gonna just play crap while I'm trying to do the ending? I'll make one of you do it if you guys don't behave. So this is our Wednesday night stream. Thank you everybody from the channel for being here. Thank you everybody who donated. Thank you everybody who subscribed and gave us a thumbs up and all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. All the support goes back into the channel. We invest everything back into the channel. So if you want to support us that way, of course, when we're doing live stream, you can do you can become a sponsor, or you can just do. No, we got other emojis that we can do now that we're sponsored, can't we, Finn? Finn?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the ability to add emojis and stuff. I have to look to see what we want to put in here.
Yeah, let's put some cool Star Wars emojis that people can put in there. So we'll do that for you guys now that we've got enough sponsors. We had to have a certain amount of sponsors, but now that we've done that, we'll start putting the emojis and stuff and everything. But this is the Wednesday night stream. Of course, you're watching. This is RSG. Again, thank everybody for being in the chat, participating. Thank you for all your questions. Hopefully, we answer them to the best of our abilities. We have 3 streams really we focusing on the week. Sometimes we do a little bit more. But this week, so the schedule is we'll probably do the Saturday streams per usual, excuse me. Next week is up in the air. Thanksgiving's next week. I don't know if we're going to have any streams next week. I'm still not sure if we'll even have a Wednesday night stream, just because I may be out of town. We're still kind of up in the air. It's a busy week for all of us, and it's really hard to stream that week. So that being said, if that doesn't happen, then we'll come back But just stay posted. We'll let you know. But the best way to know is if you subscribe, and if you donate a certain amount, you can be VIP. Then you know way ahead of time. But that being said, the streams are of course tonight, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. We do the Jedi Academy, where it's just basically a Q&A. We get all the top YouTubers and stuff to come on the channel, like Warrior and other people, and we basically do a round table and answer all your questions about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then Saturday night from 10 p.m. to whenever I pass out from drinking, because usually you guys won't be drinking and are just ridiculous. But we have fun. We do Mad Libs. We just get dirty and nasty and just have fun playing the game, looking at stuff, answering people's questions. But it's just a fun stream where we kind of just let our hair out and just have fun. So there's lots of ways you can support us. We have our own Twitter account. We have our own shop where you can buy shirts that say stuff from funny things from the previous streams and things of that nature. So you can do that. We have our own website still up and running, so you can check that out. There's lots of stuff that you guys can check out. The Saturday night stream, of course, and everything else. But on behalf of myself, Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, the lightsaber builder extraordinaire, Sir Loki, and of course, he couldn't be here, but the Brown Gandalf, Wi-Fi government stiller, Beardless One, Shiv Master, Grande Patron, and the rest of the RSG crew and gang. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we will check you out on Saturday at 10 a.m. for Jedi Academy. Until then, be safe, and we'll see you then. Bye.